pick six. I-N-D-Y. Yes, sir.
Oh, the chicken. Double time.
Miles Turner.
Yeah.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
My God, does it good. It does a heart good to see everybody out there drinking and eating right here. It does. Like last year was great when the entire tournament was here, but it still wasn't like this, man. Shout out to everybody that's out there right now. We got a mixture of fans here. The legendary Slippery Noodle is our spot today, and it has been busy. So you guys don't have to be quiet. I mean, I'm fine with it. Just roar. Roar away right here. Yeah, roar away. I can take it. We're going to talk, we're going to play some music, and we're going to have a blast at the legendary Slippery Noodle. We're with our friends from Zinc and Bud Light. Here's what I got going on for you. We have a Pop-A-Shot, which is back in the game room, where you can put yourself with the possibility of getting to the finals. You get 2 chances at it, and do I send them to you? Do they sign up with you guys right now, or what do I send them to? In the next room? Oh, okay, our promotions crew's in there. All right, Sienna and the gang. Hey, Sienna, is that you down there? Sienna is right down there. If any of you bricklayers believe that maybe one time you might find a groove and are able to win this Pop-A-Shot contest, that is going to put you in the running to win a great deal of money. So we'll tell you all about that as we move forward with our great friends from Bud Light here. The Pop-A-Shot contest, sign up with Sienna back there, and you get 2 chances at it, and we'll see how you guys do. And then I'll roll back there at some point during the show because, hell, I wore my basketball shorts too. I'll go back there, and I'll kick everybody's ass here at the end. And then I'll go to the finals, and then I'll win the cash. Can I win the cash? All right, good. I can win the cash. I'm in. So, anyway, do that. Eat and drink the ice-cold Bud Light and be happy on this day. All right, more basketball to come. In just a second, I will talk about the basketball that has already been played. I don't know if Jeff Rabjohns is going to join us here. I extended that courtesy yesterday, but he may end up getting on the horn. We'll get to IU and Illinois from just a little bit earlier today, which was yet another amazing afternoon for Hoosier fans out there. Right now, the second game of 4 in the quarterfinals of the Big Ten Conference Tournament. Iowa's a 36-24 leader as they're under 2.5 to play in the first half over at Gainbridge Fieldhouse over the 4-seed Rutgers. Iowa's still scoring, but just not at the clip in which they did yesterday against the Northwestern Wildcats, but they are still scoring. Just, again, not as much as they did. All right, so you got that, and you got 2 more later on tonight, including the Purdue Boilermakers. I know we have some Boilermaker fans in the house as well. Purdue and Penn State, Michigan State and Wisconsin. We have some Sparty fans in the building here as well. I'm looking for everybody out there. But it is a fantastic day of college basketball. I'll get to those games, some of the updates, the bubble watch in just a second. But let me tell you this about IU a little bit earlier. IU has given you really a half of basketball yesterday when being down 17 and coming from behind and beating Michigan, a half of basketball, and today was a full game. And I know a lot of you are going to say, hey, this thing was not artistic and it was, who cares? It doesn't matter because what that team showed you today, really for the first time in a long time, especially in a one-and-done situation, what they showed you was a toughness, a grind, and then the results. And I tweeted this a little bit earlier. That's exactly what IU fans have been looking for the better part of 5 years right here. Now, occasionally, obviously you go back to the Purdue game in January and you felt like that after that Thursday night win, and then just as quickly as that happened, Michigan came in and then beat IU by 18 in that game. So it had been fleeting. And then yesterday things get off to a really slow start against Michigan. They get down 17 beginning of the second half, come from behind and win. And then today against Illinois, the 1 seed of the Big Ten Conference Tournament, it was really an outstanding effort. And what I mean by being able to look at it and embrace it, embrace the grind. People were saying, well, Illinois' guards just didn't play well. Illinois didn't shoot it well. Illinois didn't make free throws. All of that was a product of IU playing defense. Those guys got after it defensively today and just had enough. I mean, so what if Illinois missed free throws? So what if Illinois missed jump shots? And, normally they're much better. I mean, really, you look at the start of that game, Trent Frazier knocked down a couple of threes immediately. And if you look at the start of that game, you thought, well, this is not going to go in the right direction. But IU immediately came back and then hung in there and then got up by 5. I mean, in the neighborhood of 5 and 6. In the second half, IU got down by what? I think 4. And Race Thompson, not once but twice, Race Thompson was struggling because Illinois' defense was pretty good too. But Race Thompson was struggling to get to his place on the interior. What I mean by that was he was struggling to get to his spots. And truth be told, you watched Illinois play, and they were really trying to keep him off of getting to his spots, i.e. getting into his offensive comfort zone. But what he did is knock down, when they were down 4, a 3, where things could have really become a little bit dicey for them. All right, because you're dealing with an IU team that doesn't have a great deal of lengthy success to build confidence. And you saw in that game, as they continued to hang in, either with a lead or tied or a possession or so away, you could tell that they were becoming more confident. And that confidence was built by way, thank you very much, of the defense. That was a grinded defensive effort where you look at the other side of the basketball and you go, man, Illinois is talented. Illinois is more talented than IU. You're going to look at it that way if you want, but it came down to IU, and everything in the past game and that half game, that second half against Michigan, has all started on the defensive end. And you can talk about teams and guys just not playing very well. Hello, Jimmy. How are you? You can talk about all of that. You can come up here and sit with me if you want to, brother. Go ahead. You can talk about all that. But it all started on the defensive end, and then Race Thompson, not once but twice, really pulled them out of a couple of dicey situations with made threes. And I'm really happy. I'm happy for IU fans. I'm happy for them going to the semifinal of the Big Ten Conference Tournament. When is the last time? 2013, I think. 2013 was the last time. It has been forever. And the atmosphere later on tonight, the atmosphere coming up tomorrow is going to be spectacular. I'm not the only one out there. I'm not the only one that has the fingers crossed to see a little IU Purdue action coming up on Sunday. I mean, that to me would be fantastic. Still a lot of work to do. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself at all, but they have put themselves in position to certainly be a member of the NCAA tournament. We'll dive into that coming up in just a minute, but to certainly be a major player here and play off of that confidence that has been built when this team got serious on the defensive end. And listen, I'm not going to tell you I know anything about defense, but you can tell just by these guys deciding to guard and what that has done. They decided to guard yesterday in the second half, around the 15-minute or so mark. They got down into it, decided to guard, and that's been the dictator for them to where they are right now, and they're going to the semifinals for the first time since 2013. So, IU fans, if you want to talk about that, we can. It was nice to see, ultimately, Trace Jackson Davis knocked down a couple of free throws that ended up being the difference in the game. It was an impressive, grinding, tough performance. I mean, you want these, artistic made threes and up and down the floor and flying high, but really what you do want is you want a team that looks like it cares, looks like it's deeply invested. And the last two games, I should say the last game and a half, that's exactly what you have received. I mean, think about this for a moment. The storyline from what it was to end the season to where it is right now has drastically changed. And because IU, for example, has been so bad, historically speaking, in the Big Ten Conference Tournament, I mean, everybody has just kind of said, yeah, whatever. I mean, whatever happens. But now you see just how important these conference tournaments can be to, well, in the case of IU, rebuild something, maybe even build something consistently for a game and a half for the first time. You see exactly what it takes and what can be done in a game and a half, because you look at IU drastically different right now. I'm not going to say that they're going to make some huge run in the NCAA tournament. I'm assuming they're going to be in the NCAA tournament. But you look at them as an IU fan, completely different than what you did before this tournament started. That's what they had to do. And to this point, they have done what they've had to do. Now, we'll find out if that's going to be enough. Lenardi still has them locked in the Final Four in. A lot of people thought that maybe with a victory over Illinois that they could escape that. Now, the other thing you have to watch is you're going to have to watch these other teams that are in a similar situation as IU. One was Texas A&M earlier today, and they got that win in the SEC tournament over Auburn. And it's a damn good thing IU won today, because that would not have been good. IU, if they're still in it, according to Lenardi, in that Final Four right now, a loss to Illinois more than likely would have punted them right out of this thing. So we were wondering if just that Michigan game alone was enough for them to stay in. And as we look at it right now, it didn't look like it was. And part of that issue is you've got other teams in a similar capacity trying to punch their way in the lower side of the possibilities here. You have the Wyomings, the Virginia Techs. You have teams like that are getting it done. I mean, heck, I even think like Xavier is still above them right now. I think Wake Forest is still above them, according to Lenardi right now. And those guys can't work on their resume any longer because they were one and dones in their respective conference tournaments. So they can't do anything about that right now. You saw Notre Dame's act against Vatech last night as well. Notre Dame can't guard us. Cannot guard us. They don't care to guard us, and they don't want to guard us. So you saw that last night, and we'll be watching, what, Kyle, SMU coming up today. I believe we're going to be keeping our eye on Rutgers, obviously Rutgers and Iowa, in this second game of the afternoon session of the quarterfinals of the Big Ten. Who else are we going to keep an eye on either today or later on tonight with a loss that can be incredibly helpful? Now, I'm with you. Don't get me wrong, I'm with you, IU fans. I think that they're in right now, but you just want to keep the momentum going, and you want to leave no doubt. I said that for the Colts season, right? I said that during the Jets game on a Thursday night. You know, that was a game that they should win every single time. But impress us with the remember the Titans quote, leave no doubt, from Coach Yost. Leave no doubt on this. And, you know, in that particular Thursday night, they didn't. With IU, you would like to see them continue on and leave no doubt when it comes to Selection Sunday. I will say this, just make tomorrow and make Sunday incredibly exciting around here, whether it is IU and Purdue, both, whatever. Make it exciting around here, because this is going to be one hell of an atmosphere. All right, I mentioned SMU, Dayton, VCU. Who else are we watching? Who else do IU fans ultimately hope lose as we move forward through the rest of this Friday and into tomorrow, Kyle?
Yeah, SMU, Dayton, Virginia Tech, Oklahoma, and Lenardi has Texas A&M further back in the next four out, but if they continue to win and they win the SEC tournament, then obviously that pushes down everyone's seed a little bit.
All right, we saw last night Oklahoma in the Big 12 knocking off Baylor, which was a big deal for them. That's something, obviously, that we'll continue to watch in that particular conference tournament. Yeah, there's still a lot to happen. Do you think that IU's in right now? I listened when I was on my way in here. Actually, I was sitting out in the vehicle here at the legendary Slippery Noodle with my friends from Bud Light before the show, and Dan was talking to Jerry Palm from CBS. He's their bracketologist, and he did not seem so secure in IU flat being in right now. I happen to think that they're in right now, but I wouldn't take that for granted. I mean, you do. I mean, you get selfish with this thing right now. And it's been a long time since IU fans have been in this position to think about it this way. It'd be great to know that you're already in. And you've got nothing to lose except a game. But listen, in this last game and a half, you would like to get selfish and continue this path. Continue this momentum. Man, momentum is real. It is a real thing. I mean, shots that didn't go in start going in. Shots for the other team that did go in don't go in. Kip brought this up a little bit earlier today to me. He tweeted me and he said, hey, what you were talking about yesterday, when I compared, for example, a team like IU taking on Illinois. And Illinois, the 1 seed, Illinois doesn't play until Friday. That is a luxury. That's a luxury you get from being the 1 seed in the Big Ten Conference Tournament. That's why you play it, is to get that particular luxury. But oftentimes, we can see that as a detriment. And I compared that to the NFL wildcard. Division winners, you get a home division game, you get a bye week where you don't play or whatever. That is fantastic. That's why you play. You get healthy and all that other crap. But that can be a detriment because you've had other teams that have played, that have executed, that have seen success, that have gained confidence and have wins and have already played. They're off to a running start while you're just starting flat-footed. And I swear to you, that's exactly what we saw with Illinois today. I'll give credit where credit is due for IU's defense. But it looked like Illinois was trying to find themselves for a lot of that game, especially on the outside. You can see in the second half, I mean, they were concentrating on endlessly going in to Kofi Coburn. And that was what they were going to do in the second half. That's what they did in the second half. Coleman Hawkins, for example, knocked down threes in the first, knocked down threes in the second. The reason also with Coburn while they were still in it. But it looked to me like that it took them some time to get into it. Now, the thing that concerned me was while Illinois was shooting blanks, IU wasn't doing much better. So you either give credit fully to both sides and their defenses or give credit to the theory that, Illinois was just off to a bad start and then, IU really wasn't, distinguishing themselves offensively enough when Illinois didn't score for like 8 minutes in the first half. And Michigan yesterday in the second half went on an 8-minute drought. But I think that there is something to that. And again, you can dismiss it because there's a great example yesterday with Iowa and Northwestern. Northwestern got off to a running start from Wednesday, and they got dropped by 36 by Iowa pretty easily. And Iowa scored a $112, and they were off to a flat-footed start. So there's no doubt there are holes in that theory, but I think oftentimes you do end up seeing it that way. And it made no mistake, too, IU did come up with some good fortune. I mean, Illinois, lack of execution, a turnover late. Michigan turned the ball over late. Cabello missed a layup there at the end that I'm sure Illini fans probably think, man, he makes that 9 out of 10 times. But if you put yourself in that situation, if you're IU or anybody else, you've had a disappointing season up until yesterday. You put yourself in that situation. You play defense well enough to keep you within striking distance, keep you right there. You have leads, and then at the end of the game, you make plays, or in this case, the other team doesn't, and the other team turns the ball over. And that can affect a 1 seed. That can affect a 9 seed. That's the type of pressure that a one-and-done situation like this represents. And we'll see if IU can play off of that coming on tomorrow. First time since 2013 in the Big Ten Conference Tournament semifinals over at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. At the half, 41-32 Iowa over Rutgers. That is game 2 of the Big Ten Conference Tournament quarterfinals with 2 more to come in the night session later on tonight. We'll get you updated on all that and a lot more. We got that going for you. NFL stuff. We can dive back into that if you guys like. I mentioned Purdue later on tonight. A lot of folks probably thought Purdue was going to end up getting Ohio State. They get my man, what's his name, Kyle, that looks like meat from Porky's? He's
Micah
like one of my favorite
Shrewsbury.
players. What's his name?
Micah Shrewsbury. Is that who you're talking about? The coach?
He doesn't look like Meat from Porky's. You don't even know what Porky's is, do
No,
you?
I have no idea.
You don't even know who Meat is.
No idea.
Nah, it's that big guy, that muscular dude that's
Harar?
in the interior. Yeah, he looks like Meat from Porky's. Meat was pretty good in Porky's, though. Meat was actually pretty good and very smart. Meat was going to play basketball at Princeton. Remember that? And they didn't call him Meat because you know why they called him Meat? But he looked like Meat. I brought that up. Yesterday I was out and I was in the bathroom and some Penn State folks were in there and I said, hey man, and they were talking about this guy and I said, he looks like Meat from Porky's. And that was the first time they'd heard that. And I said, hey, you got to watch Porky's. Looks like Meat. But no, Boilermakers, Penn State. Boilermakers, would be nice to see them coming up later on tonight, not fall victim to what we occasionally see and what I have explained. Teams getting off to, because especially in this case, to me, I mean, even though you have the luxury of not playing until Friday around 9 o'clock being that last game because you had a fantastic regular season, I mean, that can roll against you a little bit. That's a long damn time to wait. Last team to play. Love to see them get off to a good start. Love to see them be able to, not just get it down low, which obviously they wanted to do, but knock down a volume of perimeter jump shots or threes to where it gives a little bit more space on the interior to get that done. And then, again, this is something that you had to deal with today, too. They were trying to make a decision whether or not to double down on Coburn or let guys shoot the three. And to start the game, Trent Frazier knocked down a couple of threes, and you thought, well, maybe this is really going to be screwed for IU. But as the game went along, I mean, Illinois just couldn't find it, could not find it at all consistently. And here we are. So we'll see how Penn State, off and running, ends up handling Purdue. And if Purdue can just come right out, enforce their will, knock down some jumpers, get it on the interior. And here's going to be the big key. The one question we have had more so than anything else regarding Purdue this season has been the defense. Don't let teams hang around. Don't give teams an opportunity to hang around, especially in this thing. Because this thing is going to be very similar to what is up next in the NCAA Tournament. And the Boilermakers both have a long history and a short-term disappointing history in situations like that. Defensively, don't let teams hang around in this case. I brought this up to Gus Bradley yesterday. The Colts defensive coordinator was on the show, and we were talking about, obviously, he couldn't bring up the quarterback situation, which is in flux right now. And we know that quarterbacks are game closers for teams. Most important person on any field, any court, anywhere. That is the NFL quarterback. But we have seen, and we saw it in the NFC last year in the NFC divisional round in Green Bay, we saw a defense that was the closer. And we have seen oftentimes this situation where you have an elite level quarterback, but the defense up front putting pressure on that quarterback nullifies what that QB normally does. Thus, the defense and the defensive pressure up front getting after the quarterback, that becomes the closing role. And he agreed with me on that. You don't see it everywhere because we end up talking about the quarterback making big plays with the quarterback's arm, with his feet, doing whatever. But, man, is it a luxury when you can be a defensive closer, as we saw in Frisco for Jimmy Garoppolo in the divisional round of the NFC divisional playoffs in Green Bay last year. And that's what you want to see out of Purdue. You want to see them be able to put away somebody, especially a team like Penn State. You want to see them put them away and not have them hang around. Not all of a sudden get nervous. Not all of a sudden have memories bouncing around in your head. Oh, here we go down this road again. Hey, listen, you're not going to be able to transform this defense into something great, but you can certainly, in the short, reshape it to where it goes alongside how good your offense is. Make this team even more dangerous than people believe it should be. That's what I'm looking for coming up later on tonight. All right, 239-1070. Email address is jmv@1070thefan.com. Shows on Twitter, Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live. I'm going to have to get a light, I think, on this or something here. See, I think when I do this, when the light comes in, because I'm kind of sitting in the dark right now, and then I start to get demonstrative and talk with my hands, and a light comes on. But we are on YouTube Live Inside the Lounge, on Facebook Live if you guys would like to go there. You can watch, you can listen, you can participate. Again, that is Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live and on Facebook Live as well. Bob Lovell's going to join us. We'll talk about the day in college. We will talk about what's going to go down coming up tomorrow, Indiana High School regional play around the state of Indiana. No Mike Wells today. I believe Alan Karpick of Golden Black is going to join us coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. We'll dive a little bit more into that final round matchup for the Boilermakers coming up later on tonight with Alan. And Don Fischer, I'm assuming, I listen. Don Fischer should be a hoot today. I can't wait for Don to be a hoot today in the 5 o'clock hour. We're with our friends from Bud Light at the legendary Slippery Noodle, and we have a Pop-A-Shot contest going on in the back. If you are here, go sign up with Sienna back in the game room for your chance to make the finals and your chance to win big money. Courtesy of Bud Light, a Pop-A-Shot contest. If you're out and about right now and you want to come and join us, you can have an ice-cold Bud Light with us. You can eat. Go back and take a chance, take your shot at winning big money, making the finals with our Pop-A-Shot contest going on in the game room in the back here at the legendary Slippery Noodle with Bud Light. All right, quick break, and we shall return. Bob Lovell, bottom of the hour, brought to you by CarX. Tomorrow's regionals and what has been a fantastic couple of days with the Big Ten Conference Tournament in mind. Bob Lovell set to join us coming up next. Stick around.
Wow, I've got a whole 5 minutes before my next call. What should I do? Grab a snack? Nah. Text with Mom? That's more than a 5-minute proposition. I have been looking at getting a new bank account. Is that even possible?
Can't believe you have extra time? You won't believe what you can do with it. Open a Regions checking account online in as little as 5 minutes. Then enjoy award-winning service and banking tools and tech that help you live in the moment. Learn more at regions.com/liveinthemoment. Regions Bank, member FDIC.
You probably get a lot of reminders. How about one for your car insurance? Safe Auto keeps you safe behind the wheel with affordable state minimum coverage and low down payments. Get a free quote for state minimum coverage 24/7 by going to safeauto.com or call 1-800-SAFE-AUTO. Within 3 minutes, we can get you a quote to keep you legal on the road for less. Good thing we're here to remind you. Play it safe.
When a health system treats patients with the very best in medical care and compassion, it needs a rare kind of staff. That's why Eskenazi Health never stops looking for professionals who understand that technology is most effective when paired with a genuine human touch. If you are a nurse,
A social worker,
or another professional interested in a career with us, visit eskenazihealth.edu/careers. Eskenazi Health, one of Becker's 150 great places to work in healthcare.
Switch to Spectrum Mobile and get unlimited data for only $29.99 per month each when you get 2 or more lines. You could save hundreds on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save. Visit spectrummobile.com/save. Offer valid for new customers on 2 or more unlimited lines. Spectrum Internet required. Restrictions apply. Visit spectrummobile.com for details.
Could taxes be dragging down your portfolio? Join Edelman Financial Engines on Tuesday, March 29th at 3 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern for our brand new virtual event, 6 Tax Smart Investing Strategies. We'll show you why tax-efficient investing makes a big difference and how to make it part of your overall wealth management plan. Register now at planefe.com to learn about tax drag and how you can help overcome it. See how tax loss harvesting can help you offset capital gains. And find out how to make the most of tax-advantaged accounts for retirement, education, and healthcare. Register now and you'll also get a free retirement review with one of our experienced wealth planners. That's an $800 value. Join us for this special virtual event, 6 Tax Smart Investing Strategies on Tuesday, March 29th at 3 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern. And you'll get a free retirement review by registering now at planefe.com. That's planefe.com. Edelman Financial Engines. From here forward.
Jake Query here. Recently I returned to college to finish my degree, and I encourage you to join me. Whether you're like me and life simply got in the way, or you never went to college at all, Indiana offers financial assistance for those ready to move forward. If I can do it, I know you can too. If you're looking for a better job or doing it for your family, Indiana has grants to pay for over 150 certificates in high-wage industries. You're sure to find a tuition-free option that fits you. To apply, visit nextleveljobs.org today. Sponsored by the Indiana Commission for Higher Education. That's nextleveljobs.org.
Hey guys, looking for a reason to spend 3 days on the couch watching basketball? Schedule your vasectomy at Urology of Indiana for a Thursday or Friday, then sit back, relax, and catch some games over the weekend while you recover. It may be the only time your wife approves of hoarding the couch and the remote control. Vasectomies at Urology of Indiana are simple and typically take only about 15 minutes. Soon after, you'll be out the door and on your way home. During your recovery, you'll take ibuprofen and be back to your normal activities in 3 days. The docs at Urology of Indiana are board certified and perform vasectomies every day of the week, all year long. They're pros at what they do. And they have multiple vasectomy clinics, so chances are good there's one close to you. If you've been putting off your vasectomy, now is the time. You'll never have a better excuse to watch basketball. Call Urology of Indiana or visit vasectomyindy.com for information and to schedule an appointment. That's vasectomyindy.com.
O'Reilly. Improve visibility and save money at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Replace your old wiper blades with a new pair of Rain-X Advantage wiper blades and save $10 now at O'Reilly. Our professional parts people will even install them for free. See better and drive safer with new wiper blades from O'Reilly Auto Parts in store or online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Feeling the pinch of higher prices?
Golden Oak Lending can save you money with their low 2.25% rate.
James Hawkins here, president of Golden Oak. Offset high prices with lower monthly payments or turn your home equity into cash.
Lock in this low rate while you can. Call 317-706-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937, 2.25% fixed, 3.336% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Hey guys, Greg Garrison here. The Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show is this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Indiana State Fairgrounds for sporting, hunting, and personal protection options. Visit the Indy 1500. We'll see you there.
The Ride with JMV.
Just an average guy with exceptional hair.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back to the legendary Slippery Noodle on South Meridian with our friends from Bud Light. We have an equally legendary Papa Shot contest going on. Get 2 opportunities to brick a bunch, but if you do win, you can advance to the finals and win big cash. How much are we winning from that possibility? How much? $10,000? What? There's no way I'm not going to go back there and shoot in that son of a gun then. I need 10 grand. You guys want to come down and see what you can do against me? Anybody in here that wants to try that? I'm going to get you guys weighted down with the fish and chips and then take you back there and you guys won't hit any. That's what I'm going to do because the fish and chips are too damn good right there. Hey, the one thing I don't want to hear today, and I hope everybody's okay with this, because I'm giving credit where credit is due. I get this via Facebook Live. If you guys are locked and loaded there, thank you very much for watching and participating. But Marty writes this: screw that JMV. Too many blown chances, just the same as Illinois. IU won on their own. Well, actually, you know what? That's accurate now that I read that even better. That's accurate. The opposite is what I don't want to hear. Well, Illinois just screwed it up, and that was IU. Illinois screwed it up because of IU. And we have not been able to give IU credit like that for the better part of 5 years, just a handful of times. So they deserve all the credit. It wasn't an off afternoon for Illinois or Illinois missed free throws. They gagged it up a little bit. What are you going to do? But they also missed shots they normally made. being the 1 seed in the Big Ten Conference Tournament, and that was because of IU's defense. So, yes, Marty, you're right. We're giving credit where credit is due today because it's been few and far between over the past 5+ years. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, he is a friend of this show. He's got Indiana Sports Talk, which is going to be popping coming up later on tonight and tomorrow night across the Network Indiana affiliated stations in this great state. His name, Bob Lovell, brought to you by CarX, CarX.com for the 14 Central Indiana locations to help you maintain spring road readiness. Bob Lovell's on the horn here. Hello, Bob. How are you?
Hey, John. I'm great. How are you?
I want to start here. What you make of the last, let's just say, game and a half for IU? I mean, you're in a moment, 16, 15 minutes left to go in the second half yesterday against Michigan. You're down 17. The same old has been going on. We've read this book or seen this movie before. And then such a not so subtle change, especially in the defensive approach. What have you seen from that point that did also transfer until today as the chief reason why IU's in the semifinals of the Big Ten Conference Tournament for the first time in 9 years?
Well, number one, I think it's the fact that they have been consistently strong on the defensive end of the floor, and they've played well. I think everyone will agree that that's something that has been there the entire year. Secondly, guys who needed to make plays made plays. And the other thing about it, too, John, is that also guys who needed to step up like a Trey Galloway and others. You need everybody to elevate their game, which is what they did. And I think it's just a situation where, when that comeback yesterday, I'm not sure who gets credit for starting it or where you started, but people just began to grow, began to build. You started to get stops when you needed them. You started to get big plays. Things started to go your way. The crowd got involved. The crowd got inspired, and it carried you through. And today, once again, when you needed to, you got stops. When you needed to, you made plays. When you needed to make a hoop, somebody stood up and did it. And so, that's a great formula for being successful. And I understand what people are saying. Well, if Illinois had done this or someone had done, look. It's a bottom line business, John. And I've said this a gazillion times. It is hard to win. You don't know how hard it is to win until you're out there in the middle of it. And secondly, it's a bottom line business. Did it or did it not go in? Are you or are you not on the left side of the column? Did you win or did you not win? It's a make or miss league. I've talked about this before. It's a make or miss situation. Those who make more win more. Those who miss more complain about it, find excuses for it, and go ahead and go to the locker room with a loss.
Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. He's brought to you by 14 Central Indiana CarX locations. Joe Childers, my man, at CarX.com today. This, much like a lot of basketball, any sport, coaching terms kind of are transformed over the years into cliches. But, defense wins championships. Defense wins games. It starts with defense. It's one of those things that has become cliche. But with this IU team, it is exactly what we have seen. And to that point, they're not where they are right now without buckling down yesterday and starting on the defensive end. And, this is one of those times, one of those moments in the past two games where you can really see that philosophy turn cliche shine.
No, I think you're right. I mean, and as cliched as it is, and there are others who will argue that, real defense doesn't necessarily win championships. I would tend to disagree quite a bit, but you look at today, it's very simple. Curbelo has the game winner, right? He's driving down the floor, makes the crossover, ready for the game winner, doesn't make the game winner because he can't get himself turned around, can't get himself squared because of the pressure he's received when he gets into the lane. Is it defense? Yeah. Some people, the Illinois people say, well, we had the game, we just didn't make the shot. I go back to it. You make the shot, you win. You don't make the shot, you lose. And if you make it, you're happy. And if you lose, you have an excuse. That's the nature of sports. So yeah, I mean, they played defense when they needed to. They, to get a run, to get yourself turned around. it all starts on the defensive end. You got to string together consecutive stops on the defensive end to allow yourself to get the ball back and go down and do what you do. And so they've done that. And, yeah, I mean, it was absent for most of the year. And I don't know if there's something, if someone said, someone did, any particular strategy. I just tend to think the guys out on the court just played as hard as they could play and refused to accept another loss.
Well, and it's funny. And the other thing I brought up, Bob, is the fact that you can, in a game and a half, completely change the story. Because this is like a 180 compared to what we thought about IU going into this tournament. And now they've completely changed up that storyline. And again, that magnifies what a conference tournament can do for you. Now, it can also do the opposite if you're not careful. But we have seen in this last game and a half, what a one and done, and obviously buckling down, grinding this thing out, and knowing you're going to need a win to whatever. You can see fortunes change, and conference tournaments are really good at doing just that.
Yeah, I'd agree with you, John, but I'd also point out that these are two games. Okay, this over the course of the year, you had an IU team that lost games by close margins. They lost 6 or 7 of whatever those were, 1 possession, 2 possession games. There's a reason why you had that trend, that tendency as a basketball team. So, I mean, to put it all in perspective, these are 2 games. They're 2 important games. I wouldn't make too much out of one way or the other, whether it's, this means they're off and running. Now they're going to go win the national title. I don't know. For this particular day and yesterday, they did what they needed to do. Can they sustain it over a course of time? We'll find out. But for right now, everybody needs to be happy and needs to be excited and turn their attention toward what could be a 3rd in a row tomorrow.
Is there any doubt to you in watching this IU team that the catalyst certainly has been Trey Galloway's play in 2 games off the bench? People are saying he's got to start instead of Parker Stewart. It's certainly, to me, he's got to play more. I don't necessarily think Mike Woodson is going to change up the lineup, but he has been an incredible catalyst to where this team has been in the past game and a half, and the minutes are going to have to be increased on him because he's shown just how important he is to the success of this team right now when he's on the floor.
Well, he's an energy guy. You hear that expression all the time, and energy guys just do just that. And I think the other part about what he does and gives them is a dimension they might not necessarily have. And he's a guy who doesn't make mistakes. He makes a pass at the right time and the right place to the right guy. He can score when he has a chance. He's going to, things are going to happen when he's around. I think he's a very capable defender. He's probably more capable than he gets credit for. But his presence just seems to bring his teammates up. And I think they see him driving on the floor after loose balls, taking the ball to the rim as hard as he can. They see those kinds of things, and it lifts you up as a teammate. You want to try and do those same kinds of things. So I would agree with you. He's been incredibly important to what they've been able to accomplish, and I think he'll continue to do so as he ages.
Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk is going to be popping hot later on tonight and tomorrow. Absolutely, for sure. I mentioned this regarding Purdue. It can be tough in a situation like this to get off the ground when you're the final team to play in that final game on a Friday night. However, I would love to see the Boilers do it, and they're not going to completely change up and all of a sudden be a lockdown defensive team, but I think you can make a lot of strides and even help yourself defensively with the way you play on the offensive side, but most importantly, the concentration on that defensive end to be the best that you can be, because you're in this thing for the long haul. Starts a little bit after 9 later on tonight for the Boilers, and that defensive side, Bob's what I'm going to be watching.
No, I think you're right, John. I think how far they go in the tournament, how determined they are, and what their defensive effort's going to, I think, go a long way to determine what they'll ultimately end up doing. I think they'll go as far as their defensive effort will carry them, and they've got to be more consistent. I think they can ill afford to have sometimes, as they've had quite a bit throughout this year, some inconsistent play defensively that allows teams to go on some runs. And so they need to communicate better, need to execute better. And I think offensively, they clearly have enough firepower to overcome some of that. But for them to achieve the ultimate goal and run the table and do what they want to do, I think it clearly starts on the defensive end for them.
No doubt about that. Boilermakers later on tonight thought they probably would get Ohio State. They're going to get Penn State, and we'll see what happens with them. And it's a big weekend for Purdue fans as well. Also coming up tomorrow, you've got regional semifinals and a regional final to talk about. Where's your interest peaked across the state of Indiana with that in mind, Bob?
Well, I mean, obviously, locally down at Southport, I think everybody, those around here, that's kind of where you start. Some really good teams. I don't think there's any question. And I think the other part of it, too, John, is that there's some, as you would expect, there's some really, really interesting matchups around the state. I think that's going to be pretty interesting. I think tomorrow's one of those old-fashioned days, John. You got to win 2 games in one day. I mean, think about that. Got to win 2 in a day to be successful and to get a championship. It's not easy. I think we all understand it. That's why regionals are so much fun, is because you got to be tough. You got to be mentally and physically tough to get through it. I don't think there's any question. Ben Davis Mount Vernon game is a great one. Mount Vernon is the team that's better than people give them credit for. That they are under the radar. They're really, really good. Cathedral and Terre Haute North in game 2. Cathedral's really, really good. That's a strong matchup. Rebuff Jesuit in 3A. They're going against Danville out in Greencastle, so we wish them the best without question. But I think clearly, you got a lot of interest in the Southport sectional. I think you also have tremendous interest in the Logansport sectional with Homestead and Westfield in the second game. Kokomo and Snyder in the first game. Homestead's for real. The lawyer kid is headed to Purdue. A solid. Braden Smith going to Purdue. Get a chance to watch a couple of guys there. So some really, really great games and great players coming into action tomorrow.
It's Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk. He's going to have it all for you and then some coming up tonight and tomorrow. I went to the sectional semifinal in Martinsville this past Friday, and the crowd wasn't any good, but the games were, especially Columbus North and Bloomington North in that first game. And I know North, moving on to the regionals as well. I know down in Martinsville, you got a couple of GC teams in it. Linton's in a regional. You got Bloomfield in the regional. My fellas aren't in a regional, but GC is definitely represented in regional round play, Bob.
Listen, Linton Stockton's really good. I mean, I don't have to tell you that. They're really, really good. I think they're capable of playing for a championship. I really do. Joey Hart's son is phenomenal. Joe's a tremendous coach. So Providence is their matchup. I think that'll be a good game. Forest Park is good, also in that sectional. So I like Linton Stockton. I like everything about them. And so, could be a good day for Greene County. You never know.
Yeah, just not for Eastern Greene County.
Well, you know what I mean. Yeah, it's a big county.
if you live near or across the river, it could be a good weekend for you.
Right.
Definitely.
Right.
But, Hey, buddy. Well done, as usual. I appreciate you. Have a great night on the radio tonight and a great night tomorrow night. I know you thrive this time of year, and
love it.
We'll check back in with you next Friday.
All right, John. Thanks for having me.
Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk. He's brought to you by CarX, CarX.com. One of the 14 Central Indiana locations to serve you. Ask for my friend Joe Childers and let him go to work for you on maintaining for your car, truck, or van spring road readiness. At your 14 Central Indiana CarX locations, that's CarX.com today. Bob via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. We are live at the legendary Slippery Noodle on South Meridian. You know, Carol's here, Cappy's here. I'm going to talk to Cappy coming up a little bit later on, brought to you by Bud Light. We have a $10,000 Pop-A-Shot contest, meaning you come here and you win, you advance to the finals for your chance to win $10,000. It is the Bud Light $10,000 Pop-A-Shot contest. The preliminary rounds going on right now back in the game room. You just have to come here, sign up with Sienna, and you're off, and you are running on this Friday. A lot of fun going on, too. 63-49, Iowa over Rutgers in the second of 2 afternoon games. Later on tonight, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Purdue, and Penn State. IU a winner a little bit earlier over Illinois by 2, and that was a big deal for IU. We'll talk a little bit more about whether or not you believe that IU is in the NCAA Tournament, and we'll talk about the fortunes of the Boilermakers coming up at the top of the hour. Alan Karpick of Gold and Black Illustrated is with us, voice of the Hoosiers Don Fischer. In the 5 o'clock hour, the Slippery Noodles are side on this Friday. Big Ten Conference Tournament quarterfinal round action, and we are here at the legendary Slippery Noodle with Bud Light on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey Indy, one big winners in college hoops and the NBA. Catch me, Joe Wiz, host of The Fine Line, Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. right here on The Fan.
We upgraded. Want to we upgrade? Our live streams. Find us at 107.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch, conversate, participate, and hang out with us in the new Hubler studio today.
Hey Indy, Tim Piersont here, founder of Chattanooga Whiskey, the only Tennessee high malt. Try Chattanooga Whiskey 111, the unfiltered 111 proof bourbon with notes of chocolate-covered cherries and rich caramel. We hope you love it as much as we do. Drink Chattanooga Whiskey, enjoy responsibly.
Of course, she needs a college education, but I don't want her buried in student loans for the rest of her life.
It starts here.
She needs a school with great resources, but some of these campuses are so big.
The School of Health and Human Sciences at IUPUI has the resources of a big university on a campus with a hometown feel. It's a more affordable option with access to career paths in Indy's world-class healthcare and sports entertainment hospitality organizations.
At those big schools, I'm worried she'll just be a number.
Hey, it starts here.
Hey, why not IUPUI?
That's what I was thinking.
A tourism, event, and sport management degree fits detail-oriented individuals who like to call the shots in a fast-paced environment. Hands-on internships plus dedicated professors give the education and professional contacts needed to land an ideal job after graduating.
The School of Health and Human Sciences at IUPUI. It starts here. Learn more at shhs.iupui.edu.
Hey, John here for my friends. You got that right at L.D. Smith Plumbing. That's Lance and his local team at 317-284-9526. So L.D. Smith Plumbing right now, they have a deal for you because there is nothing worse, and I mean bad, than the main drain and it's being clogged, sewage backing up into your home. Yeah, that's bad, that's gross, all the above. But right now, Lance and his local team at L.D. Smith Plumbing have a deal for you. 83 or free, it's what it's called. They're going to come out. They're going to clear the main drain for $83, or the visit is free. So all you got to do, dial the number 317-284-9526. It's called 83 or free with LD Smith Plumbing. Online, that's ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Even though it's cold outside, now is the time to plan your backyard project. Mark Rowland with Indy Decorative Concrete here. Learn the advantages of our stamped concrete patios. Endless design options, low maintenance, structurally superior, typically lower cost than wood decks or pavers, all backed by the best service and best warranty in town. Visit our showroom on Brookville Road or check us out at indydecorativeconcrete.com.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Is it my favorite song? I don't know.
Oh, it definitely is.
Well, it's at the top of my playlist.
1-800-SAVE-PHOTO.
It's my morning alarm.
Every morning.
I like this jingle. I mean, in just 3 minutes, you can get a low down payment on state minimum coverage, so you can get back on the road. What's not to love? Sorry, hold on. Hello?
It's even her ringtone.
Play it safe, Safe Auto.
Call 1-800-SAFE-AUTO for your quote today.
Alice in Chains and Breaking Benjamin. Live in concert this summer with Bush, plus special guests. At Ruoff Music Center, August 17th. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Get up and get outside this summer with Alice in Chains and Breaking Benjamin.
Hey, I was just talking to somebody a little bit earlier, and you know what the first thing they said? It was, hey, your hair is great. And I said, hell yeah, I know my hair is great. You want to know why? Why? Because I go to PAI, WeGrowHairIndy.com at 888-724-5129. I'll be damned, it works. I mean, it works. All you have to do is lob that phone call in, and Darren Andrews is going to explain everything that goes into it. 888-724-5129, your real growing hair again with PAI. WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 38,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
This is Ryan Newman for Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives. When I'm not racing around at 200 miles an hour, I like to take things a little slower. But even here at the lake, I'm still driven to save lives. So if you're like me and you enjoy fishing or hunting, say yes to being an organ donor when you get your license online or when you renew your driver's license. Learn more and sign up today to be an organ donor at donatelifeindiana.org.
Rattle, rattle, thunder, clatter, boom, boom, boom. Don't worry, call the CarX man.
CarX is the best in brakes, and they'll prove it to you. Right now, a lifetime guarantee comes with a new set of brake pads for just $109.99 per axle. Enjoy the peace of mind that comes with lifetime brake pads at a great price. Installed at just $109.99 per axle at CarX Tire and Auto. The best in brakes.
Don't worry, call the CarX man.
Crew Car Wash's new ceramic fast wax offers better protection and even more shine.
Sign up for the Ultimate Unlimited washes to wash as much as you want and keep your vehicle shining.
The Ride with JMV.
If somebody gets in your face and calls you a I want you to be nice.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
John here. Thank you so much for joining us. Slippery Noodle Bud Light. We got a Pop-A-Shot contest going on to the game room in the back. As for Sienna, you get 2 opportunities to shoot, and if you win, you will go to the finals for your chance to win $10,000 with Bud Light going on right now at the Slippery Noodle. Game 2, Big Ten quarters today. Iowa 69-57 over Rutgers. About the 8-minute mark to go there in the second half play. Rutgers making a little bit of headway. No doubt about that. Iowa still... it looks like, for me, I don't know what the percentage is. It looks like they're shooting the ball pretty well. 112 points against Northwestern yesterday was incredible. But anyway, Rutgers at Iowa as they're nearing the 8-minute mark of the second half with Iowa the advantage. Right now, we'll keep you updated. Big news, IU over Illinois earlier today. IU moving on to the Big Ten Conference Tournament semifinals for the first time since 2013. I think it's the first time they've won 2 games in this tournament since 2003. Somebody's going to have to check the tape on that and make sure that's accurate. That's incredible right there. That is true, Kyle tells me in my ear. That is incredible. All right, Boilermakers coming up later on tonight. They get Penn State, Big Ten quarters, Alan Karpick, Gold and Black Illustrated. We'll talk up that with me coming up on the other side. Don Fischer, voice of the Hoosiers in the 5. From the Slippery Noodle of Bud Light, it's 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Are you a fan of Twin Peaks? Sign up for their e-club to stay up to date on all things Twin Peaks and score free stuff. Signing up is easy. Visit TwinPeaksRestaurant.com/Peaks-Club. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Every dribble, every pass, and every bucket, all in the palm of your hand. Because now you can sign up and bet. No strings attached with Bet Rivers Sportsbook app featuring award-winning customer service. Live in-game bets, player props, and instant betting bucket to bucket. Don't miss out on all the big games. Get in the action with Bet Rivers Sportsbook app.
Must be 21. Must be located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
My friend kept complaining about car insurance.
I need affordable insurance to get back on the road. I gotta get to work.
So I played her this song.
1-800-SAFE-AUTO. Pick up the phone, the call is free.
And she was like, play that again.
1-800-SAFE-AUTO.
Safe Auto believes everyone deserves affordable coverage. In just 3 minutes, you can save big with low down payments on state minimum coverage.
This is my jam.
Play it safe, Safe Auto.
Call 1-800-SAFE-AUTO for your quote today.
Whoever said the more the merrier sure wasn't in charge of hiring new employees, because the more unqualified candidates you have for a job, the more difficult your hiring can be. And that can make the process, well, not so merry for you. Thankfully, there's ZipRecruiter, which you can try right now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology finds the right candidates for your job. But unlike other sites, ZipRecruiter goes deeper. ZipRecruiter matches people with people, and you can personally invite your top choices to apply. Because the perfect hire is more than a list of qualifications. It's an individual. ZipRecruiter makes hiring the right person easy, and that'll keep you and everyone else very merry.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's right, free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
Join Planet Fitness now through March 16th and get the PF Black Card for zero enrollment and $22.99 a month. You'll enjoy an upgraded experience with tons of perks.
Like access to more than 2,000 locations worldwide?
Yep.
Super soothing hydro massage chairs?
Yes.
Can I bring a friend every time?
Sure.
Can my friend be a horse?
Nay. Sorry. Get the PF Black Card and feel fit-tacular. Zero enrollment, $22.99 a month. Deal ends March 16th. See Club for details.
The Mower Shop in Fishers has all your residential and commercial mowers, outdoor power equipment, parts, products, and service also at themowershop.com and 317-849-9500.
Do you need air conditioning service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust, like B&W Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning? Find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of damn nerds.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Back to the Slippery Noodle. We're with Bud Light on this Friday, Big Ten quarterfinal round Friday. IU with a huge win. They advanced to the Big Ten Conference Tournament semifinals for the first time in 9 years. First time they get back-to-back wins in this conference tournament since 2003. Get the winner of the game ongoing right now between Iowa and Rutgers. Last check, Iowa up in that quarterfinal, the second of the day at Gainbridge Fieldhouse by 12. Later on this evening, the night session includes Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Purdue and Penn State. And to talk a little bit more about the Boilermakers coming up in that late one later on tonight, Alan Karpick of Gold and Black Illustrated with us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Is there any at all hesitation that a team has, or in this case that Purdue will have, to be that final team to play a game on the Friday night of the Big Ten Conference Tournament, waiting around as long as they have to actually get on the floor at Gainbridge Fieldhouse?
That's an interesting question. I think Purdue, it's hard from a goldenblack.com perspective. Nobody reads our stuff till the next morning. But no, I think Purdue needs to focus on the task at hand. I don't think they really care that much about timing. Purdue needs to take some steps forward, and it could start tonight against Penn State, which will not be an easy game. You got to remember, Penn State led Purdue in the final 4 minutes of the game, their only game this year in Happy Valley. So Purdue better have its head screwed on when the Boilermakers take on Penn State tonight.
And the other thing that I bring up, too, and this is not a steadfast rule that we see at all, but we've seen it to the contrary. I thought we saw this in Illinois today. It's kind of like the NFL wild card, where if you're a wild card winner and you go on the road to play the divisional round, oftentimes you got a great deal of momentum. You've already played, already seen success, already have a win, and that's a help, whereas the team that has yet to play, even at home, is a little bit slow-footed out there. I mean, we've seen a couple of different cases of that. I thought Illinois had that today. Obviously, Iowa didn't have that against Northwestern yesterday, scoring 112 points. What about this? I mean, you get the first time against a team that's already played, already had success. Any issues at all you see either side of that coming up tonight?
Well, I think the one difference is that Penn State will be into Game 3. But Matt Painter talked about that earlier this week, about the fact that first half, when you're the team that hasn't played, you got to withstand the storm, so to speak. And so, yeah, I think there's something to that because there's momentum in playing. Penn State does have momentum. Now, the Nittany Lions have played, this will be their third game in 3 days, whether that will matter in the first half. But you got to be dialed in, and Penn State has shown, and familiarity breeds contempt, I think they say. So with Micah Shrewsbury bringing in there, bringing his team to the forefront, it's going to be really interesting from that standpoint because I think Purdue kind of expected to play Ohio State, and it looked like it was going to play Ohio State through about three-quarters of last night's game, but things change, and give Penn State credit because I think it'll be a good game tonight. I don't think, at 8.5 points, I think Purdue's the favorite. I'm not a betting person, but that's an interesting line in tonight's game.
Yeah, Alan Karpick, Golden Black Illustrated on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Purdue Penn State final game in the quarterfinals down at Cambridge Fieldhouse coming up later on tonight. All right, I've talked a great deal about the Purdue defense. It has to be better. However, have we seen, as we approach now this game later on tonight, over the past 2 and 3 weeks, how has this defense been compared to, for example, Alan, going back to the month of January?
I think it's better, JMV. I really do, but I also think it's a lot to do with situational things, like how much Purdue turns the ball over, where Purdue turns the ball over. There's been a lot of run-out scoring on Purdue when Purdue's had some troubles with turnovers in the lane. I don't think Purdue's a great defensive team. I think that's been pretty clearly defined, but I think Purdue can be good enough defensively to be as competitive as it needs to be throughout the rest of the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament. Now, we are finding out about the NCAA tournament and the Big Ten tournament or the conference tournament. It's a crapshoot. And look at what happened to Auburn today. Look what happened to Baylor yesterday. I understand Baylor's got injuries and may have been motivated by getting beaten earlier. But my point is, it's anybody's tournament. That's what makes it exciting. That's what makes it exciting for IU fans because IU may run into Iowa tomorrow, but how cool would it be for the Indiana-Purdue final on Sunday? And yet, I would say this, Purdue has got a lot of motivation to get its mojo back. I think you want to if you're Purdue. I think you can get yourself to a number 2 seed if you can win the Big Ten tournament. But, again, Purdue's got to focus on tonight first. It's one step at a time, but it would be good for Purdue to be able to take care of Penn State, maybe play Wisconsin, and exercise that demon, so to speak. That would be, I think, mentally helpful for Purdue as it heads into the NCAA tournament.
Alan Karpick, Golden Black Illustrated, Boilers Penn State, final game of 4 on this quarterfinal round. Friday at Cambridge Fieldhouse, Alan via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. All right. Expectation, because expectations are huge. No doubt about that for this Boilermaker team, well beyond, what we witnessed tonight, what we witnessed the rest of the weekend. Is this team, you think, ready to get into a groove in which they can reach the fan base and those expectations?
It's been a really strange experience because, at least from our perspective, in terms of covering and watching Purdue and the fan base, I think that November thrust, so to speak, that Purdue was able to beat Villanova, beat North Carolina, and become a darling and become ranked number one for the first time in school history, has made Purdue in a situation where there's kind of no upside to that. So I think Purdue's ability to do well, not only in the Big Ten tournament, but the NCAA tournament, is just to not worry about that stuff in play. That's a hard thing. You have no idea what impact that will have on these 18 to 22-year-old kids, because there's no question that there has been among the fan base a little bit of a disappointment. You didn't win the Big Ten championship when you thought you had that in front of you. Maybe you can right that wrong by winning the Big Ten tournament championship. But if you're a Purdue fan, you better hope that the basketball team kind of phased all that stuff out, not worried about that type of situation, and just focused on one game at a time in the NCAA tournament. Purdue is good enough, JMV, in my opinion, to go as far as it needs to go. It can go to the Final Four. Nothing really has changed. I know that the Ken Palm stuff on the defense isn't good, but Purdue can find a way to not turn the ball over, make some free throws, and get fouls called on Zach Edey when they should be called. I like Purdue's chances to have a deep run this year.
So Alan Karpick's with us. All right, let's go over really quick with you as well. I know you got to run here in the next couple of minutes, but give me some things that you certainly like right now. Some are incredibly obvious, and maybe some things that fans don't really see that you see as of things you don't like that need to be corrected as we enter the one-and-done portion of this Purdue season.
Well, I think obviously Jaden Ivey's been a focal point, because here's a guy that's second-team All-American, first-team All-Big Ten, is a terrific player. There's a lot of parallels, JMV, on a very 35,000-foot look at this, at how Purdue was in 2019 with Carson Edwards. You have to have a guy that can take over the tournament. Carson Edwards, who did not play well in the Big Ten throughout the course of the Big Ten season in 2019. In fact, there was a lot of gnashing of teeth among Purdue fans about how he was shooting the basketball. You need to have somebody literally step forward and take the reins. You have to hope that that's going to be Jaden Ivey. And I think that's one factor. I also think Eric Hunter Jr. has played extremely well. Much maligned has been, at least on a national level, has been Purdue's backcourt play. Eric Hunter Jr. has been really, really good, out of the last 8 to 10 games. If he continues to be that way, again, I just don't think there's been a lot that's been changed from where Purdue really sits in the marketplace, so to speak, and its ability to do well in March and in the NCAA tournament. Now, matchups are everything, but if you get a chance to play at home in Indianapolis for the first 2 games, maybe in Chicago, I like Purdue's chances to be right there when the time comes.
All right, everybody else, I know the backcourt is always going to be that question. I thought Eric Hunter's played well, obviously.
No doubt.
Isaiah Thompson's been in spots bunked there for an extended period of time. It's weird because I think back in January it seemed like he was playing pretty well and knocking down shots, and it just is kind of up and down a little bit, I guess.
JMV, but look at how many shots he's attempted. I think that he's a guy that when the opportunity comes, he scores 18 points was against Rutgers, and also plays very well in another game in the Big Ten play. He lets the game come to him. Again, Purdue's got to make threes, JMV, and I think that's a big. That's the story of every team in the NCAA tournament. That's the way that the game is played now. And Purdue cannot have, Mason Gillis, who has played well, but has had some foul trouble issues down the stretch. You just got to make threes. Somebody comes in and burns you up with 12 threes during the course of the game is going to cause problems for you. Purdue is one of the most efficient teams offensively, but Sasha Stefanovic, Mason Gillis, Isaiah Thompson, whatever that is, you can't have a game where you shoot 24% from three and expect to beat teams, especially if you get to the Sweet 16. And that's not a foregone conclusion. I understand that, but I still think this is a good basketball team with which will be a matchup difficulty for a lot of teams in the NCAA tournament. Purdue just needs to get its feet set and move forward, and that's what's going to be an interesting storyline to watch.
All right, final minute with you, Alan. Has this season gone according to how you thought to this point?
Well, I think that the November effect has caused a skewing. 25-6 is nothing to. If you'd have taken me back to October 15th and said 25-6, I think for most Purdue fans you're good. But when you win and you get ranked number one and you lose 4 games in literally last-second shots or 3 of the 4 buzzer beaters and then one by Rob Finnessy in the last 17 seconds, that skews some things. But, again, I think the focus is for Purdue is getting off of that and just focusing on who you are as a basketball team and moving forward. And that's not an easy thing to do for a lot of teams. But has it gone as expected? I will say if I looked at it from an October 15th perspective, yes. If I looked at it from a November 20th perspective after you beat Villanova in North Carolina, maybe not. And, again, that's a fan base problem. The challenge from Matt Painter and company is making sure your team's focused and not worry about that kind of stuff and just play basketball. Because Purdue is still a tough matchup for a lot of teams, and I think that makes Purdue a very dangerous team in the NCAA tournament. We'll see what happens.
No doubt. All right, so people aren't going to read your stuff until tomorrow morning? They're not going to be, up?
No. Brian Newberg is the hardest working person in college basketball. He'll have stuff. If you're up at 2 o'clock in the morning, it'll be there. We'll be recapping that, and hopefully, from a Purdue fan perspective, you're looking forward to that matchup against Wisconsin or Michigan State on Saturday afternoon. But again, I think Purdue's got to keep its head about itself when it comes to playing tonight, because Micah Shrewsbury knows how to beat Purdue, knows what the weaknesses are, and Penn State's got a lot of motivation. But I think Purdue's going to get the job done tonight, and will advance to play Wisconsin and Michigan State tomorrow.
Alan, I talk about sports arousals, which means, cool moments, huge plays, you know what I mean? IU and Purdue in a Sunday final before Selection Sunday begins, awesome. that might be a mammoth type of sports arousal. One of the larger sports arousals, I think, that maybe I've been around here. So,
in the celebration of Indiana basketball in the state, it would be phenomenal. I think Purdue and Indiana have only played once in the Big Ten tournament. It was the first Big Ten tournament back in the days of Luke Record, 1998. Purdue beat Luke Record and company when Indiana had to play a game before it played Purdue. Purdue lost to Michigan in the final of that game with Brad Miller, Chad Austin and company. But no, it'd be fantastic from the standpoint. All I want to do, JMV, is be able to get my Mike Woodson quote after the game today, but I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not going to throw that word out. It starts with the S.
I love it when he was asked. Rick Pizzo had a bit of a long afternoon. He his walk-off at halftime with Brad Underwood. You could tell Brad Underwood didn't want any part of it. He kind of walked away muttering and shaking his head.
JMV, Mike Woodson, and I'm trying to take my Purdue blinders off. I love Mike Woodson. He's a terrific college basketball player. I don't know if you're old enough to remember that. Oh, yeah. He was phenomenal, and he's doing a good job in Indiana. And I would like nothing more than to see Purdue and Indiana face off on Sunday afternoon. It would be fantastic for not only the state of Indiana, but Purdue basketball.
That would be an incredible sports arousal around here. There's no doubt.
It's all about arousal, my friend.
Sports. Listen, we don't get a lot of sports arousals around here because normally we get these, how should I put this, incredible disappointments. We get blue sports around here is what we end up with. And, a little sports arousal with that matchup on Sunday would be quite nice. I would agree. So
Indiana, and I'll tell you, Indiana and Purdue would be a hell of a match. Indiana's playing very well, and Xavier Johnson, et cetera, are getting the job done. If Purdue and Indiana can both get there, it'll be great.
Hey, buddy, I appreciate you more than you know. Enjoy the rest of the day and the game coming up later on tonight.
All right, sounds good, my friend. Thanks for having me on.
Alan Karpick, Gold and Black Illustrated, Andy Moore, Automotive Group Hotline. I not around? Should I not have brought that up yet? I mean, I know
you jinxed it.
Did I jinx the entire thing? What do you guys think? At JMV1070 on Twitter, did I jinx the stratospheric locally sports arousal with mentioning that possibility in that final matchup on Sunday? Where would that arousal-wise rank around here? Because, again, there hadn't been a lot to get excited about. The excitement's been few and far between. Winning's been few and far between. Success, extended success. That would have to be pretty big, would it not, on Sunday? Folks around here, Kyle? Yes?
Oh, it would be a huge deal. It would be, I don't know how often the Big Ten Tournament Championship is sold out. Usually there's some few empty seats, but I'd imagine it would be split pretty 50-50.
And they've had two really good matchups already in the regular season. Did I jinx it inside the lounge via YouTube Live? Did I jinx it for you? My bad. Facebook Live? Are we allowed to think about that possibility taking place? I think everybody around here deserves that. I do. I mean, you've been through a lot of crap. I was thinking about this a little bit earlier. My friends from Zinc are here, and we got to talking a little bit earlier. This is the 2-year anniversary. I was sitting right here on this stage 2 years ago. The Big East Conference Tournament got underway with their quarterfinal round. I think that was St. John's and Creighton. They played the first half, did not come back out, and sports ended. Sitting right here, sports completely went away. Sitting right here 2 years ago today, that's incredible. That seems like 25 years ago today to me. But, yeah, we've been through a lot here locally. I'm going to speak for us locally because it is us. We're all together. We've been through a lot. I think we all deserve an incredible sports arousal to that level coming up on Sunday. So hopefully I didn't jinx it. But again, I didn't bring something up that you guys, I'm sure, have it in the back of your mind thought about. Just a little bit. How great that would be. Hey, the legendary Slippery Noodle with Bud Light, and we have a Pop-A-Shot contest going on in the back. Your chance to get to the finals. You get 2 chances to do it. Your chance to get to the finals and then end up taking your shot, I should say, at winning $10,000. Go back and back there hanging out, and you can sign up. You get 2 opportunities to shoot, and the winner today moves on to the finals. All right, quick break. Actually, check that. Let's not go to break just yet, because I've got a very special guest right here. You know him because he calls in. He is a voice on our station that we embrace. My man Jimmy's here. Are you on over there? Do we got Jimmy on?
Yeah.
There you're on right now. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
You
again.
got that right. So what are your thoughts? You said you had something to say. You didn't want to call sitting right next to me, and I said with the mic. What do you got?
So 2 things. One, I don't know if you're paying attention to the Iowa Rutgers game, but the guy at the end of the Rutgers bench shot 2 tees. One of the coaches or stats.
But it wasn't the head coach?
I'd never seen that before. No, it wasn't.
Oh,
so I thought that was interesting. But
it looks like that they're getting a little, things are getting a little spicy out there.
A little chirpy,
yeah.
for sure.
So.
And then on the IU Purdue, I'd love to see that as well. My mom was an IU cheerleader back in the day, and then I won't say how long ago, but and then my dad was a professor at the trainer school, so
nice.
I have a split family, so it'd be great if it happened, obviously.
Are you going down to watch the evening session?
I'm going tonight, and I see a lot of green and white, so I'm definitely from Michigan State. Over Wisconsin, and then
this is a Michigan State hangout, I think, right here.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of, like my man out there said, asked me what kind of headphones I have on right now. But this is a Michigan State hangout, I think here.
Yeah, and I used to live in Grand Rapids, Michigan, so Michigan State. But hey, John, thanks for having me.
They don't know how much I hate the state of Michigan. What are you going to do? Good to see you, Jimmy. Thanks for coming out. That's my man Jimmy right there. Quick break, and we shall return. Me and you at 239-1070 on the other side. So it will be the Iowa Hawkeyes and the pinkish hue of one Fran McCaffrey and IU coming up tomorrow in one semifinal. The determination for the second semifinal, that is still to come. You got Purdue, Penn State, the nightcap tonight at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and you got Wisconsin and Michigan State coming up as the first game of the evening session. Iowa 84, Rutgers 74. Kyle, before the break, what does that do for IU? That a helper with Rutgers' situation whatsoever, or are they firmly into this and it really doesn't matter?
Well, according to Joe Lenardi, he had Rutgers ahead of IU, so this helps IU. I don't know how far Rutgers will fall, but any loss there will help IU.
You got it. We'll check in on that coming up on the other side. Oh, yeah, I'm still on. Oh, yeah, I'm live. I'm live as hell right here. I am live as hell at the legendary Slippery Noodle. Where's my man Mick Barrett out there? Mick Barrett in the back somewhere? Thought he might do a little pop-a shot or something. I don't know. You come up from Bloomington, you're watching your Boilers play later on tonight, you come to watch the show, and you sure as hell can't see me in the back room. What's happening? Got to get up here. Ice Cold Bud Light's what we have here. Our friends from Zinc on the spot, your chance to shoot Papa Shot. You win that final. You get to the final, I should say. You win today, you get to the final for your chance at $10,000. Slippery Noodle, downtown Meridian with Bud Light. Back with your calls at 239-1070 coming up next.
And Query.
Carson Wentz had his free will to bypass getting a COVID vaccine. This was a factor in Jim Irsay's assessment of Carson Wentz as a leader, and people thought we were making up a false narrative. Well, guess what? That false narrative is in a Mayflower truck now on his way to Washington. That's the reality of it. So you can either think that we're making stuff up, or you can say, you know what? Kevin Bowen probably knows what he's talking about.
Kevin and Query.
Weekday mornings at 7
on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey Indy, want big winners in college hoops and the NBA? Catch me, Joe Wiz, host of The Fine Line, Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. right here on The Fan.
Grammy Award winner, Darius Rucker Live, Friday, March 18th, and second show added Saturday, March 19th, Murat Theater at Old National Center with special guest, Kaylee Hammock. Darius Rucker. Second show added Saturday, March 19th. Reserve seat tickets on sale now online at livenation.com. Don't miss Darius Rucker Live.
Hey, JMV here. If you're between the ages of 17 to 24, you have your own business or you plan to start your own business, my friends at Forum Credit Union can give your business a $3,000 boost with their Entrepreneur of the Year program. So, young entrepreneurs can submit their business details anytime during the month of March for the chance to be named Forum's 2022 Young Entrepreneur of the Year. It is that easy. Slide by a branch location and sign up today or apply online. forumcu.com.
Hubler has it, savings. Hubler has it, choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. Credit card debt is increasing at record speed. That's great for the big banks and greedy credit card companies, but for the rest of us, it's getting harder and harder just to pay the bills. The good news is home values are skyrocketing and mortgage rates are still near historic lows. There's never been a better time for a cash-out refinance. Our average client received over $54,000 at closing with a simple cash-out refinance. Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, JMV here for my friends at Love Heating and Air. You know that's John and Chris Love. They're the absolute best, and their company has been around for over 100 years. I think their whole AC unit goes back to the days when you had a big block of ice and you had a fan that blew off the ice. Seriously, that's how good they have been. The technology certainly is much better, but their quality of service and what you expect remains the same. Now, the Love family, they've been serving us here in Central Indiana that long, and right now you can get $95 off your spring service. I need spring service. You need spring service. We all need it in preparation when we have to kickstart that AC unit when it gets warmer in the springtime or certainly in the summer. Make sure that is running efficiently as possible. Get a spring service right now at $95 off. Mention my name with Love Heating and Air today. 317-754. That's 0754 or online love-hvac.com today.
Whoever said the more the merrier sure wasn't in charge of hiring new employees, because the more unqualified candidates you have for a job, the more difficult your hiring can be. And that can make the process, well, not so merry for you. Thankfully, there's ZipRecruiter, which you can try right now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology finds the right candidates for your job. But unlike other sites, ZipRecruiter goes deeper. ZipRecruiter matches people with people, and you can personally invite your top choices to apply, because the perfect hire is more than a list of qualifications. It's an individual. ZipRecruiter makes hiring the right person easy, and that'll keep you and everyone else very merry.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's right, free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
Hi, this is Ted Bishop, PGA General Manager at the Legends Golf Club in Franklin. This year, we are celebrating our 30th anniversary of being in business, and I want to personally invite you to become a member at our course, which was selected as the 2021 Indiana Golf Course of the Year. We are offering a limited number of 2-year Monday through Friday memberships starting at $199 a year. Yep, you heard it right, only $199 a year, and you can upgrade to a 7-day membership for only $50 per year more. If you ride, you just pay for the golf cart, and if you walk, there's no additional charge. These memberships will expire on December 31 of 2023. Legends has 27 Fazio Design Championship holes. Our regular players will tell you that we are known for great playing conditions and a friendly staff. Join the Legends Golf Club today. Don't delay, because limited spots are available. Call 317-736-8186 or buy online at thelegendsgolfclub.com. And I'll see you on the first tee.
He's the best you have yet to see. That ends today because you're watching this telecast and you're going to see the poetic beauty that is watching Eric Hunter play basketball.
Well, he's averaging 26 a game, and when I say everybody's recruiting him, everybody's recruiting him. He's an unbelievably efficient player, Greg. 53% from three-point. He doesn't take a lot of shots. He makes a lot of things happen to get that 26, and he is one of the most electrifying players in the state.
Well, you got the ball in the hands of the right guy. Because Eric Hunter can make decisions, and we all know he can finish plays.
I'm not sure the ball's leaving his hands.
I would think it wouldn't, unless somebody's got wide open look.
It's Hunter White. It's White. Floater. Yes! Clock still running. Inbounds pass taken by Hunter. Put back, no, but it does not matter. The state title for Tinley.
What a play.
Greg Rakestraw, Bob Lovell right there. Eric Hunter. Tinley Academy. His family's going to be glad to hear that one right there. Dating back to 2017, the Class A state title game. Tinley 51, Lafayette Central Catholic 49. You're going to get to see Eric play later on tonight. Boilermaker fans certainly will. You saw him back in 2017 win that Class A title. That's what makes the IHSAA Boys Basketball Tournament so special. Names that you remember and you still see today. But back then and right now, you'll pay a lot less to go see those future stars. Regional semifinals and finals coming up this weekend. Various sites around the state of Indiana. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to be a part of it. Log on, check out the schedule, find those locations right now. IHSAA.org.
You get rid of Wentz after 1 year, paying this guy $38 million on top of $25 million to Rivers, $35 million to Brissett, $6 million to assorted other clowns, and then they gave Luck $25 million. Honest to God.
What are you doing?
I don't know what the future holds for Chris Ballard in his position. I'm glad they've admitted it and are moving on.
Yeah.
What happens next happens here.
This is why you keep it right here all day.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Your home for Colts football. The Ride with JMV.
Hey, you gonna stare all day or you gonna buy something? I'm gonna stare all day.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
All right, we're live in the legendary Slippery Noodle Papa Shot contest, courtesy of Bud Light's, going on right now. Shout out to my friends at Zinc. They have brought me this. This is called Bud Light. You can see me right now online inside the lounge via YouTube Live. You guys watch me drink all the time, so what are you going to do? But also Facebook Live. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda. This is classic cola. And Cam's giving me, the engineer, the thumbs up of approval. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Classic Cola is what we have going on right now, right here, if you guys are watching. Here it is in front of me. Spectacular. Thank you guys from Zinc, and thank you Bud Light, Papa Shot, Game Room in the back. You could advance to the finals if you win here, and you could have a chance to win $10,000. So get here. You got 2 times to shoot. Game Room, back of the Slippery Noodle. Sign up right now for the Papa Shot contest. That could win you $10,000. 239-1070 is the number. Some phone calls for the first time today. Don Fischer is scheduled to join us coming up at the top of the hour. Chris is up first today. Chris, thank you for the call. How are you?
I'm doing great, JMV. I wanted to first off say I love your show, man. I listen to you every day on my way home from work. Big
I cannot thank you enough. Appreciate it.
But I just wanted to give a quick shout-out to a kid from Lutheran High School, L.J. Ward. I don't know if you know, last week he hit the at-the-buzzer game-winning tip-in, and I know his father personally, and I know how hard that family works, not only at school, but at their craft in the game of basketball, and this kid's going to be a star in the making, and I just wanted to give him a shout-out. And with
That's
Lutheran,
awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Are you a Lutheran guy, Chris?
I'm not really. Like I said, I know his dad. I've known his dad for a long time. His father he's a youth basketball coach here in Indianapolis. He develops young men, and they're a great family, and that kid's a great kid. And I wanted to give him a shout out with his, helping his team get the win, and good luck to Lutheran and his team this week in their tournament game.
Lutheran is sports on the rise and has been growing for a number of years now, and basketball, and certainly we have seen that growth in football as well. So, yeah, it is a jewel on the southeast side that, athletically speaking, continues to grow and win. Anything else,
yes,
Chris?
Yes, sir. Definitely do. No. Thank you for your time,
You got it,
JMV.
buddy.
Have a great day.
Thank you, man. You call anytime right there, Chris, with a shout-out to the Lutheran folks right there. Hey, IU a big winner earlier today. They advanced to the semifinals of the Big Ten Conference Tournament for the first time since 2013. First time they've won 2 games in the Big Ten Conference Tournament since 2003. What the hell were we all doing in 2003? Kyle, what were you doing in 2003?
I was 8 years old.
Kyle was 8. I was 33. Good God. I was 33 in 2003. And Kyle was 8. The last time IU has won back-to-back games in the Big Ten Conference Tournament. I'm sorry, that is a big deal. Big deal. I'm incredibly happy for IU fans. Did you see this as well? This is breaking news according to Ian Rappaport. Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson will not face charges. His criminal matters are now over. So, we're going to see what ends up happening here with Deshaun Watson. So according to Ian Rappaport, those circumstances are now over. And as Kyle tweeted out just moments ago, the Watson sweepstakes are now officially underway. Mike Garofalo. So now it's down to the civil case and the NFL's investigation for Deshaun Watson. No criminal charges for him, which was a stumbling block for teams' interest. We'll see where it all goes from here. Something to certainly monitor. Not like seriously here, but something to certainly monitor nonetheless. Big Glenn says, I was 15. I'm 34 now. That's a long time. I mean, when you think about it in that fashion, that's a hell of a long time. Incredible. One Pump Kev says, Jimmy is one of my favorite callers. The legendary Jimmy was here a little bit earlier today. That is always outstanding. BT chimes in. You did not jinx the MLB lockout ending, so you won't jinx and IU and Purdue going to the championship. Yeah, that was my bad yesterday. I felt kind of bad about that. All of a sudden, I end up saying it before I'm supposed to. So I wanted to give credit to somebody else. I didn't deserve it. My man Andy says, you're streaming live inside Quack Daddy Donuts in Westfield this afternoon. I think IU is in, but like you said, you got to leave no doubt on this thing. Let's keep winning and playing with a purpose and that intensity. That is Andy, the owner of Quack Daddy Donuts up in Westfield, Indiana this afternoon. And getting back to the IU thing for a moment, I would maintain that obviously you're going to do this anyway. But from a fan standpoint, I think that they're in, but too much crap can still happen to where maybe, listen, if for nothing else, make for a fantastic weekend here. You get Iowa coming up tomorrow. Iowa scored 112 in their first matchup yesterday against Northwestern. Another 84 today. So we've been talking about what for these first two games, this game and a half from an IU standpoint. We've been talking about their defense. Their defense stepping it up, turning this into a grinding game. You've got a team with 112 and 84 in their first two games. If your defense has been your calling card, tomorrow it absolutely has to be. Because Iowa has been that good offensively. And they were again today, and, clearly got a lot of weapons. Keegan Murray being the biggest weapon as far as the Iowa Hawkeyes are concerned. I'd like to think that IU's in right now. But make this weekend even more fun. Give this a bad boy a shot coming up tomorrow against Iowa. We'll find out the other semifinal with the two games coming up later on tonight, Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Purdue and Penn State. But Rutgers now done. We'll get you a scoreboard update around the nation as far as what is going on in conference play and all these quarterfinal round of action. It has been fun so far, and you expect even more so of the fun to take place. Hey, Kyle, is Don good for the top of the hour?
Yeah, he'll join us at 5.
Voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fischer, got to call back-to-back, well, actually a game and a half, back-to-back humdingers, though. There's no doubt. Voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fischer. We'll talk about IU, their win today, their win yesterday, their matchup with the Hawkeyes coming up at the top of the hour. Voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fischer. We are at the Slippery Noodle. We're brought to you by Bud Light. We have a pop-a-shot shoot-off. You win this here, you advance to the finals for your opportunity. Your chance at $10,000, courtesy of our friends at Bud Light. The Pop-A-Shot contest here at the Slippery Noodle. This is on a quarterfinal round Big Ten tournament Friday. Slippery Noodle, South Meridian, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Gear up for the Big Ten Tournament with Dan Dockich and Coors Light. Head over to 1075thefan.com to see where Dan and Coors Light are heading to next.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey, you. It's me, your old self, your old confidence, your youth, your looks. What's the matter? You afraid I'm gone because you're losing your hair? It's not too late. 4Hims has a prescription treatment that's shown amazing results stopping hair loss and regrowing hair. It's called topical finasteride and minoxidil spray. With 2 proven hair loss treatments inside, it's the only hair loss spray of its kind. No pills, no messy application. Guys usually see results in just 3 to 6 months. No wonder it's their #1 best-selling hair loss product. It's only available by prescription, but at 4hims.com, you can connect with a medical provider online who will, if appropriate, prescribe this medication and ship it directly to your door. Come on, man. Go to 4Hims and get your hair back. Your old confidence wants to come home.
For a free online consultation, go to 4hims.com/results. Regrow your hair in 3 to 6 months at forhims.com/RESULTS. 4hims.com/results.
Hey, John for CarX, 14 Central Indiana locations, helping you maintain with my friend Joe Childers. Saw him yesterday, talked to him earlier today. 14 Central Indiana CarX locations online. That is CarX.com. I'm talking brakes, tires, fluid exchanges, and wiper blades. If you have bad wiper blades, springtime with all the precipitation, that stinks. All that and more, get that checked up to maintain your road readiness with the 14 Central Indiana CarX locations to serve you. For the location nearest you, log on right now. That's CarX.com.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning. Robert Kirby says they sell the American Standard brand because American Standard listens to the techs who install and service their products.
We went down to the factory and they want your feedback. Being in the field, you can actually see some things that they could change on the product to make it better. And right there on the line, I mean, they actually take your input.
Call Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning at 317-892-3614. Kirby is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, unleashes the spirit of Las Vegas with BetMGM rewards. Every time you make a wager at BetMGM, you can earn BetMGM rewards points that you can redeem for online bonus credits like free bets and risk-free tokens. Planning a trip to Vegas? You can also convert your BetMGM points into MGM rewards points that you can use towards dining, shows, and hotel rooms at over 20 MGM Resorts properties located on the Las Vegas Strip and nationwide. BetMGM Rewards is sports betting's premier loyalty program featuring exclusive offers, incredible experiences, and valuable perks when you wager on the BetMGM app. Sign up with BetMGM or log on today to get an even bigger piece of the action with BetMGM Rewards. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Indiana only. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, John here for Andy Moore Buick GMC. That's 131st State Road 37. It's in Fishers. Eric Wilson is the guy I want you to talk to. And, you know, among the things you can talk about, certainly hoop. He's a big-time hoops guy, no doubt about that. You can do that, or you can get yourself a new set of wheels. They have the inventory, the price tag, the customer service that you are looking for, and the hassle-free one-stop shopping. That is what it's about when you're the best. And it's Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st State Road 37 in Fishers.
Whoever said the more the merrier sure wasn't in charge of hiring new employees, because the more unqualified candidates you have for a job, the more difficult your hiring can be. And that can make the process, well, not so merry for you. Thankfully, there's ZipRecruiter, which you can try right now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology finds the right candidates for your job. But unlike other sites, ZipRecruiter goes deeper. ZipRecruiter matches people with people, and you can personally invite your top choices to apply. Because the perfect hire is more than a list of qualifications. It's an individual. ZipRecruiter makes hiring the right person easy, and that'll keep you and everyone else very merry.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's right, free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
Twin Peaks is excited to announce the kickoff of their $2 million bracket challenge presented by Dos Equis. Pick the perfect bracket and grab the big prize. Plus, they're offering more ways to win, including $20,000 cash for 60-plus correct games. Twin Peaks for a year for the best overall bracket and more. TwinPeaksBracketChallenge.com to get registered and learn more. Submit your bracket for all 63 games in the men's college basketball tournament between Sunday 3/13 and Thursday 3/17 at noon. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hey, John here for Farm Credit Union, the great branch locations around, no doubt. I want you to sign up for that today. Also, with Farm Credit Union in mind, I want you to keep in mind another sponsor of this show is the great water that is Connecticut Water. And right now, Joe, John, and Dennis of Connecticut are offering up a $200 savings. If you want the best water in your home, Connecticut's the direction you need to go. Premier Series water softener in-home K5 drinking water station. That and $200 off with my friends right now with that best water of Connecticut. 2 locations to serve you, northeast side Castleton, south side US 31 and Southport Road. The Connecticut Water app. Download that to your smartphone or device today or online. ConnecticutIndy.com.
Are you an HVAC technician, plumber, or sewer and drain specialist? Has your company been swallowed up by a national company? Concerned about becoming a small cog in a large wheel? Searching for a place where you can make a difference and feel appreciated? Then call Vasey Commercial Facility Solutions. They're hiring experienced industrial commercial technicians. Get full benefits and true work-life balance. Call Vasey now at 317-873-2512. 317-873-2512 or go to Vasey.com to learn more.
If you're serious about selling your home, call Mark Dietel and his team today at 317-755-4232 or online markdietel.com. That's markdietel.com today.
Hey, it's going to be a happy Don Fischer on Monday, one way or the other, because Indiana is going to be in the NCAA Tournament. We're going to recap all the action from this weekend's Big Ten Tournament and more. Join me Monday.
The Ride with JMV.
Whenever we need a brilliant insight, he's available at the drop of a hat.
Hey, Mom! I'm done with my segment! 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
We're back at the legendary Slippery Noodle. My friend from Zinc are all here. It's like a Zinc party. I love Zinc. You know what? Jim Jr.'s down there, and Jim Jr. likes this sports talk show, but he loves my Saturday night JMV takeover, by God. I know he does. All 80s coming up tomorrow night. An 80s soundtrack after 8, and we have a super sounds of the 70s after 11 tomorrow night, buddy. It's going to be incredible for you. All requests Saturday night coming up tomorrow night. You better call me. Yes, you haven't yet. I'm all ready to play Jafria. I've got Jafria queued up for you. Call to your heart, ready to go. No, but seriously, Bud Light brings us to you. We got a Pop-A-Shot contest going on in the game room in the back. And you could advance with a win today to the finals for your chance to win $10,000. I'll explain that in a second. It's funny. So right before we got back in the break, we had a Mark Dietel, friend of mine, a realtor of this show. I actually had breakfast with him down in Bargersville yesterday, and Kyle said, "Did you actually eat breakfast?" And I had 4 cups of coffee and a chocolate milk. 4 cups of coffee. Is that good, Kyle? 4 cups of coffee?
Were you on an empty stomach?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I would be. Well, I'm not a coffee guy, but I would imagine you're all jittery,
I can't
right?
eat in front of people like, I'm going to say this, and Karpick can attest to this because he runs the stuff here. They have fish and chips serving up right now that looks awesome. I mean, I so much want a fish sandwich, but I got to be playing a home game with this. The road games are tough for me.
Is there any food you can play a road game for?
I could probably eat a cereal bar out of my bag right now and be safe, but I just don't know. I don't know what's going on in that witch's brew in my stomach. I don't. I mean, it is just a witch's brew. I don't know what's happening.
I think you have the most temperamental stomach of maybe all time.
I mean, it is. It's just like a 3-year-old. Just I don't want that. And it doesn't want it. That causes problems for the rest of the bod right here. My man Cappy from the Noodle is here right now. The fish and chips look outstanding, brother.
Outstanding.
Where is that on the list of favorites here?
You know what? It's going to be like a top 2, obviously. Yeah. We're celebrating Lent as we speak.
Yeah.
And
I'm supposed to be like very.
You know what?
Blake goes to Ron Colley, but I don't know. Other than me scratching off a check every month, I have no idea what else this goes into.
There's nothing better than Ron Colley, obviously.
I love you, Ron Colley. Yeah, Get my kid through high school.
Yeah. So let's buy a lottery ticket, and maybe we might get you through there.
I love you, Ron Colley.
Yes.
Those are not my words.
Yes.
No,
all right, Mr. Lauk.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll call
I love
in.
Mr. Lauk, man.
Mr. Dave Lauk. He might call in and say hello.
I will MC or host trips to the bathroom if I have to.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm always.
Yes.
They don't even get it out. Like, they don't even get the sentence, "Hey, can you?" And by the time they get to "can you," yep, I can.
Yes.
Yep, I got you. Yep, I can do it. I can do this. I can host that. We can do that fundraiser. I'm all in.
Genuflect, yes.
Every time.
Yes, sir, yes.
All right, so the fish and the chips here are awesome.
Yes.
What else we talking?
This weekend we've got a great lineup. Big Daddy Caddy, 8 o'clock tonight.
Yep.
Warrior Kings Front Stage, 8:45. Tomorrow we have Funky Mojo Daddy.
Nice.
Backstage. Yeah. I mean, if you want to get down, let's get down.
I want to get down. I do. Right. I do like to get down. It's been a long time since I've legitimately been down.
On top of that, on the front stage at 8:45, we have Hired Gun.
So this is where I am right now.
Yeah.
So I'm the warm up. I'm the warm up band for Hired Gun. I dig that.
So Benito is going to come on stage and he's going to wreck it.
I love it.
That's what we do here.
I love it.
I mean, it's awesome.
All right, and how big? I hate to bring this back up. 2 years ago on this day, you remember we were sitting right here.
Yeah.
And everything ended. And I always bring this up, you're the one that foretold what was going to go on. You said, it's going to be a while. And it was ultimately a while. So I love the fact that we're back on that, what was just a dreadful 2 years ago, back with a filled place. We got fans, Big Ten Conference Tournament. You're talking about bands. Great food. I love it that it legitimately feels back today.
The feel, the positivity, the power that's, no question. When you can pack a house and everybody's here for the music, and then we have all this great basketball going on. I mean, what more can you ask for on a weekend in Indy? We are the home of basketball. Yeah. So I'm stoked. I'm so happy that we can do this.
And then you're getting some positivity for the IU fans for the first time in this thing for a while. You got Boilermaker fans in the house. You got a lot of Michigan State fans in this joint too.
MSU, always proud, loud and proud. I obviously went to IU, and I'm proud.
Yes, you are.
We pulled out a big one today against the Illini.
And our guy Trace. We're Trace guys here. Trace with big free throws down the stretch that got the bad boy done. And then what looked to me like an intentional miss there to salt that thing away. At least if I were him, I would say that was an intentional miss. It was a really good intentional miss. And he played well, and that's good to see. And it's good to see for IU fans because, at this level, this type of excitement, it's good for everybody around here, no question.
Go IU.
You got it. All right. Reminder, great food. I said the fish and chips. What else on the menu for everybody tonight?
Well, I mean, we obviously all of our subs are amazing.
Yes.
I'm all about Cajun. We do a lot of Cajun stuff here. So if you just ask your server, what's best on the menu for this evening, we will make sure that you'll have the best plate of your life and you'll have a good night and enjoy the music.
Caps, love you, brother. You know that. Now, I don't know. Where's Big Mart? He had the days off? That's what I hear?
I think Marty is he's skiing somewhere.
Well, I texted him earlier, and I said, hey, make sure that I got a parking spot there, Woods. And he goes, I can't, brother. I'm not working tonight. So I got here early enough to make sure I secured the spot right here. But, I'm keeping Big Mart in the loop. I just didn't know he was skiing.
You have your own spot here.
I love it right there. Backed right up. I always bang the tailgate into that loading dock out there.
And you know what's coming to the Noodle parking lot?
What? Tell me.
Pitchers and catchers.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
We are going to do our own pitching and catching and batting. And yes, I am all about baseball.
Just do it, brother.
I'm doing it.
And you're a Cardinals guy, too, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Well,
so are all the Zings.
I know. We'll have to beg to differ on that one. But that's okay. I love you, brother. Always. Thanks for having us again. I love coming here. That's my Cappy right here. And we're with Bud Light, and we're at the legendary Slippery Noodle. We've got the voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fischer, on the other side. IU advancing to the semifinals of the Big Ten Conference Tournament for the first time since 2013. Coming up tomorrow against the Iowa Hawkeyes. Voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fischer, next.
Hey, it's Dan Dockich here with my wife, the lovely Lee Ross. Lee, we've had several jobs done at our house by the Michaelis Corporation. You've dealt with them way more than I did. I forget everything. Remind me, what was the scheduled work they did and how'd it go?
They were great to work with. Michaelis rebuilt a roof over our sunroom and a structure over our 2-story deck so we could sit outside on the lower level even when it's raining. The ladies at the office kept me informed every step of the way, and Michaelis did everything they said they would on schedule.
Here's what I know. It looks great. And you are happy. And when you are happy, I know it got done right. And, oh, by the way, I'm happy.
Bill, Dave, James, Brandon, and the whole crew from Michaelis did a great job around the Dockich house.
Besides being great general contractors, Michaelis has experts in waterproofing, foundation repair, mold remediation, indoor air quality, emergency fire and flood restoration, and insurance restoration. Spelled Michaelis, pronounced Michaelis. Call 844-FIX-INDY or michaeliscorp.com.
Hey, John, for PAI, real growing hair again. If you are going bald, if you don't want to go bald, make the call. 888-724-5129. If you dig on being bald, there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I'm just giving you options. We love options. You have options. If you want to check those options out, Darren Andrews, the private consultation, the technology of PAI. 888-724-5129. WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
The region's Writing Forward Scholarship Contest celebrates stories of inspirational Black Americans. Tell us about a Black American who's inspired you, and you could earn a $3,500 or $5,000 college scholarship. Enter by March 31st, 2022 at regions.com/writingforward. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Open only to certain high school and college students in states with Regions full-service branches. Complete eligibility requirements, contest details, and official rules available at regions.com/writingforward. Contest sponsor, Regions Bank. Member FDIC.
Grammy Award winner, Darius Rucker Live, Friday, March 18th, and second show added Saturday, March 19th, Miroir Theater at Old National Center with special guest, Kaylee Hammock. Darius Rucker. Second show added Saturday, March 19th. Reserve seat tickets on sale now, online at livenation.com. Don't miss Darius Rucker Live.
Hey, John, for Aurora Sleep Clinic, I struggled. I did. I mean, it was brutal. I thrive on bed rest. I mean, when you look at these chiseled features of this glorious 52-year-old body, this just doesn't happen by accident. I need proper bed rest. And, frankly, over the past 10-plus years prior to visiting the Aurora Sleep Clinic, I struggled with that because I struggle with snoring. It was terrible. Nothing worked. Nothing helped. And then a couple of former Hoosiers, Dr. Steve Green and Brian Evans, heard about my situation and said they could help. It's a mouthpiece. I wear it at night. Simple and affordable. I have worn that, and my snoring has stopped, thanks to the Aurora Sleep Clinic. Log on today and find out more if you also struggle with snoring. That's StopYourSnoreNow.com. StopYourSnoreNow.com for that private consultation, and you too can get that snoring stopped and get back to great bed rest with Aurora Sleep Clinic. That is StopYourSnoreNow.com today.
Hey guys, looking for a reason to spend 3 days on the couch watching basketball? Schedule your vasectomy at Urology of Indiana for a Thursday or Friday, then sit back, relax, and catch some games over the weekend while you recover. It may be the only time your wife approves of hoarding the couch and the remote control. Vasectomies at Urology of Indiana are simple and typically take only about 15 minutes. Soon after, you'll be out the door and on your way home. During your recovery, you'll take ibuprofen and be back to your normal activities in 3 days. The docs at Urology of Indiana are board certified and perform vasectomies every day of the week, all year long. They're pros at what they do. And they have multiple vasectomy clinics, so chances are good there's one close to you. If you've been putting off your vasectomy, now is the time. You'll never have a better excuse to watch basketball. Call Urology of Indiana or visit vasectomyindy.com for information and to schedule an appointment. That's vasectomyindy.com.
Hey Indy, Tim Piersant here, founder of Chattanooga Whiskey. Did you know March Madness and Chattanooga Whiskey have a lot in common? For example, we selected our flagship bourbon recipe through bracketology. That's right. After years of distilling and barreling hundreds of experimental recipes, barrel number 91 emerged as our champion. We now call it Chattanooga Whiskey 91, an award-winning small batch bourbon. Featuring notes like toasted honey and graham cracker, we think you'll enjoy it as much as we do. Drink Chattanooga Whiskey, enjoy responsibly.
Every dribble, every pass, and every bucket, all in the palm of your hand. Because now you can sign up and bet. No strings attached with Bet Rivers Sportsbook app featuring award-winning customer service. Live in-game bets, player props, and instant betting bucket to bucket. Don't miss out on all the big games. Get in the action with Bet Rivers Sportsbook app.
Must be 21. Must be located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Stop by your locally owned and operated Big O Tires and save up to $100 instantly on Cooper, Nitto, and Pirelli tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
There's never been a better time for a cash-out refinance. Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com. ZipRecruiter.com. NMLS number 1326-241.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2 W298BB. WIBC HD3 W228CX. Indianapolis.
The Pacers head to Texas to take on the San Antonio Spurs tomorrow night at 7:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Slippery Noodle, Bud Light. Legendary Noodle on South Meridian. $10,000 Pop-A-Shot contest. You can advance by winning today. Thank you for joining us on what has been an entertaining Friday, to say the least. And joining us now on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, he is the man that gave my mom apparently a little bit earlier today a heart attack while she was listening on the radio. Voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fischer, joins us.
Gave your mom a heart attack?
I think she was I had to check. I think she about lost it there. I did. Had to make sure everything was all right. So
that's good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad you didn't have one.
It is all good. I will say this. There is something we can talk about. Stuff like this, Don, has just been either few and far between or non-existent for so many years. For IU fans, like many that are listening right now, my mom that would be listening right now that listened to you earlier today, the excitement of that and the end result of that is probably going to go down as fairly special as far as memories are concerned, because, again, it's been few and far between so recently.
Well, you're right. It kind of reminds you of to win two games like this in the way that they won both of them. It kind of reminds you of the era of Cody Zeller and Victor Oladipo and Christian Watford the first year that those guys were there. Of course, Cody was the freshman. Vic was a sophomore, and Christian was a junior, I think, or senior. He was a senior. He was a junior. At any rate, it reminds you of that game against Kentucky in Assembly Hall when Indiana hit the shot, Christian hit the shot, to give Indiana the win over the Wildcats, and you thought, man, this is it. They're back. And in some ways, you feel the same way after these two ball games in the tournament because of the way Indiana won them, number one, and the fact that they had gone through so many games here this season where they were right there and couldn't pull it off. And it just felt really good today, no question.
Voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fischer. It's Indiana, Iowa coming up at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Coverage begins downstairs from where Kyle Udemark is right now at MS Worldwide, 93 WIBC. Coverage begins at noon coming up tomorrow. I completely agree with you yesterday because after the game you said, if you would have told me this was how this game was going to go as you entered the first couple of minutes of the second half, I wouldn't have believed you. I am right there with you on that. What was the spark? What was the catalyst? I know defense. I know Galloway and Geronimo helped out in that capacity. But where did this all begin? A little over this time yesterday, Don.
Well, in my opinion, it was when Mike Woodson went to the zone defense, or went to the press. My apology. He went to the full court press. And he inserted Geronimo and Galloway into the lineup with Xavier, Rob Finnessy, and Trace Jackson-Davis. That's the most athletic, quickest team that they could put on the floor. And there's no question that pressure that they put on Illinois from that point, or on Michigan rather, from that point forward, they forced them into 8 turnovers, John, during that period where they outscored them 31-9. So that's telling you right there that was the difference in the ball game. The pressure that they put on, the turnovers that were committed by the Wolverines, and the fact that they couldn't get a decent shot. I mean, they literally, I'm trying to remember how this was. It was 31-9 was the total, but I think field goal wise, in that period where they made the run, I think they only had they went 11 minutes and 10 seconds without a field goal. So when you talk about what Indiana did or where the turning point and what happened in that ball game, it was all based on what Woodson did, deciding to go to that full court pressure, because Indiana was getting clobbered at the very beginning of the second half, and that's how they got down 17.
Hey, you got to put Joe on this research. Maybe you guys mentioned it after the game, but can you remember the last time IU defensively put a team through an 11-minute drought and then the next game an 8-minute drought as well? Can you remember a time when that's happened in recent history?
I can't. I don't think there is any time in recent history that's happened, to be quite honest about it. And I can't remember Indiana holding anybody that long, 11 minutes and 10 seconds ever. I'm not saying that it hasn't happened. I just can't remember it. And, of course, I'm old, so therefore you got to take that with a grain of salt. But my point is, it just doesn't happen, and it's rarely happened if it's happened at all.
Yeah, I mean, and then, Illinois went through, in the first half, like an 8-minute drought, field goal-wise. And, everybody wants to say, well, they're just missing shots. Well, I mean, that's because the other team is locked in defensively. Well, they're missing free throws. And Don, a lot of what we've seen in this last game and a half has notoriously, in the past 4 or 5 years, happened to IU. Right. And now this thing is switched to where you lock down like that, and that puts pressure on the other team, and it's happening to them. We used to see this often. I mean, I think we probably became accustomed to seeing efforts like this in the past. But frankly, in a game and a half span, as we've witnessed the last 2 days, we haven't seen this in a long time.
No, we haven't. And the proof in the pudding is what happened at the end of both of these games, the last 2 games, the Michigan game, the Illinois game. What happened? They turned the ball over. Yes. Michigan turned it over in the last 2 possessions of the ball game against Indiana, and Illinois turned it over basically on the last possession of the ball game. It was unbelievable. The pressure that Indiana's defense was putting on these teams in these 2 ball games is the best I've seen in a long, long time, and it discombobulated their thinking process. That's why they made those mistakes. And that, again, is what has happened to Indiana in the past, as you pointed out. So, yeah, everything is kind of flip-flopped here, and Indiana's playing some of the best basketball we've seen in a long, long time.
Don Fischer, voice of the Hoosiers. It's Iowa-IU coming up tomorrow. Big Ten semifinal round action, Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Tip times around 1 o'clock. Pregame show 93 WIBC coming up tomorrow at noon. Is this worthy of Mike Woodson investigation right now, or do you keep it as is because you don't have a lot of time? I mean, hell, Fife's preparing, scouting the game, so they don't have a lot of time to prepare. But listen, the catalyst energy-wise certainly has, among a couple of others, been that of Trey Galloway off the bench. Do you investigate inserting him into the starting lineup for Parker Stewart, do you think, or you just keep this thing the way that it is, Don?
I don't think he'll change. I really don't. I asked him earlier in the season, I said, at certain times when it looked like Indiana ought to make a change, or at least when guys weren't performing up to the level that we expect, or that I would say that Mike would even say they weren't performing up to the level that he expected. But that said, he basically didn't change. The only time he's changed this year is he changed one time earlier in the season for somebody got in trouble, did something, and so he benched him for a half. That was Parker Stewart. He benched him for a half, and then he played him in the second half. But that was the one change in the starting lineup. The second time that they changed the starting lineup, I believe, was the Northwestern game when he suspended 5 guys. Every other game this year has been the same 5 starters, and I don't think that's going to change.
Don Fischer, voice of the Hoosiers, he is with us. Moment of the game for me today was the fact that Race was having trouble getting to his comfort spot because Illinois defensively, they were pushing him out of there, getting him out of there. Those 2 threes, especially that first one, I think IU was down 4. He knocked down that first 3. That seemed like things might have been teetering a little bit momentum-wise toward the Fighting Illini. That, to me, was probably the biggest shot of that game in terms of IU's success in winning.
Well, it was a big one. There's no question about it. And if you think about it, if you go back to the first half, Miller Kopp made 2 threes that were big at the time where Illinois was kind of you never really felt comfortable in this ball game because of the past history, so to speak. But at the same time, nobody could get a real stranglehold on a big lead in this game. I look at what the biggest margin was in the ball game. It was 6 points for Indiana with a lead of 6. Illinois never had a bigger lead than 5. So when you have a game like that, John, and nobody's getting on a big run of any kind other than Indiana, both teams had one run, a 9-point run for Indiana, an 8-point run for Illinois. So you never got comfortable in this ball game. It just was that simple. And it looked like it was going to be that kind of game throughout, and it turned out to be exactly that.
You know, it's funny you bring this up too, Don, is that back during the golden era, as you can attest to, it was games like this where you didn't think about it. I mean, you just felt that ultimately IU was going to win, and you're right. I mean, it has been over the years now where the expectation was IU would not win games like these past two, and it was good to see that transition because we got so used to that during what, I'm calling here, for lack of a better, I guess, description, the golden era that everybody points to.
Well, you're right. I mean, think about it. I mean, the Bob Knight era, of course, was the era that I was a part of almost at the beginning. I wasn't there for the first 2 years of Coach Knight's tenure at IU, but I was there for the last 27. And we got spoiled. There's no question. The fan base got spoiled. Everybody bellyached if there was a loss of any kind at that point. And that's how spoiled Indiana fans were at the time because they had so much success under the Knight tutelage. But at the same time, since Knight was fired, they had a couple of years there with Mike Davis that were really good. I mean, the 21-win season he had his first year as the interim coach, and then the second year they go to the NCAA championship game and get beat by Maryland in the title contest. I mean, that's the last era that Indiana really looked outside of maybe year 2 and Kelvin Sampson's 2 years at Indiana, and that team was really, really good. Unfortunately, like in February of that year, Kelvin was out the door, and Indiana struggled from that point on with the group that they had. So, and that team looked like they were very capable of going a long way in the NCAA tournament that year had they been able to keep it all together.
Don Fischer, voice of the Hoosiers, joins us. So apparently, as I listened during the postgame show, Coach Fife had the scout of Iowa and Rutgers this afternoon. So at the top, is he going to write?
No. I think he had the scout of the game today. He had the Illinois scout.
Oh, I thought that he mentioned after the game that he was scouting Rutgers and Iowa.
Well, he did say that, but maybe he's got both. I don't know because I thought
really good. I was going to make fun of his ass. I had a really good one ready right here. I was going to say, did he write at the top of it? Iowa's really good at offense.
I think he probably would have accepted that as a joke because you know how good they are offensively.
Yes, 112 and 84 in their first 2 games. Yeah. And that offense, beginning with Keegan Murray, is absolutely legit.
Yeah, and the problem with that is his brother Chris is the guy that lit up Indiana when they beat Indiana the only time they played him this year out in Iowa City. He had 29. So the Murray brothers are a combination package that Indiana's going to have to deal with tomorrow, and it's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. And here's the other thing Iowa did have to play to get in here. So they both have played 2 ball games back-to-back. So from a fatigue standpoint, they're both going to be tired. There's no question about that. The big story will be, can Indiana hang with the Iowa Hawkeyes tomorrow? Can they play the same kind of defense and keep them under control? Because you know that Iowa, if they're not being able to run up and down the floor, can get a little frustrated. And, of course, Fred McCaffrey, of course, is a very volatile guy, and I love the guy because he's one of those people that you just love to watch on the sidelines and see if it's going to be a volcano or not. But I also love talking to him, too, because he's a really honest person about his ball club. And I think honestly, I gave him a vote as a second-place vote for Big Ten Coach of the Year. I just thought his job this year that he's done with his team has been spectacular.
If he turns a pinkish hue, that means your team's doing well against his.
That is true. Either that or an official has really gotten under the burr of his skin, so to speak.
Any word on Jordan Geronimo?
I hope it's not serious. I don't have any word to give you. I know that they had ice on the knee when they left the arena. That's all I do know for sure. I would assume if that be the case, and you just don't know. I mean, I don't even want to speculate because he has been such a big factor at times this year for this basketball team. His energy, his athleticism, it's huge when he's in there in the sense of his quickness and what he can do to get rebounds and how he goes about his business out there, and can even knock down a shot or two. So I don't want to speculate on that simply because I just don't know.
Xavier Johnson, by the way, you have to take the good with the bad, because he's going to instigate it a little bit. But, man, when he keeps his focus out there, Don, he's a difference maker, clearly, for this basketball team.
Well, he is. He's played so well here in the last 7 or 8 ball games, maybe 10. And he's had other games this year where he really played well also. But he has really settled down. He's become much more the point guard that we've all thought that we needed to have, and that Mike Woodson felt that he could be. The game has slowed down for him a little bit. He's become a calmer player to some degree because he still does have a tendency to get a little. I don't want to say I don't want to say mixes it up, but he is not going to take crap from anybody. I can tell you that. And I'd like it, the fire in his belly. That's what I probably like the most. I know the key is to control it and to make sure you don't do anything crazy.
No doubt about that. And by the way, shout out to Trace, too. I was really happy when he knocked down those 3 of those final 4 free throws, and I think that final one was, you called this. I don't think you guys talked about it afterwards. That thing looked to me like it was missed on purpose, and if it wasn't, if I were Trace, I would tell me that it was missed on purpose. So, yeah.
Well, honestly, I didn't want him to make it. I really thought the best chance for Indiana to win that ball game with a 1.7 seconds remaining was to miss that thing, because a rebound's going to take time. It's going to take time to get it under control, to get off any kind of a shot at all, and that's exactly what did not happen. They did not get a shot off. It was good.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was a perfect miss, if you want to call it that at that point in the game. It was. Hey, great call. And we'll see what happens coming up tomorrow. You guys hit the airwaves, 93 WIBC pregame show at noon, correct?
That is correct. We'll be on the air at noon tomorrow. I've got to get a warm salt water and start gargling a lot because the voice is getting a little raspy, boys and girls.
Yeah, I've got plenty to drink right here. Why did you just stop by here? What are you doing?
Well, the last thing I need to do is go have alcohol put in my body tonight. That's the last thing I need to have done.
You imagine, man? It'd be great. It'd be legendary if you came down here with me and I got you drunk, and then you had to do that hungover tomorrow. You know how great that would be.
No, I know how much you'd laugh.
I'd put that on top of my resume if I ever needed it again. Yeah.
This man got Don Fischer drunk before he did the semifinal game of the Big Ten tournament.
Look how hungover he is. The first time IU's played in the semifinals since 2013, and look how hungover Don Fischer is. That's right on top of my resume.
Well, we might have to import Joe to finish the game off, you know. That might even be a bigger problem.
Yeah. So is Joe doing Bloomington North tomorrow too, by the way?
I believe he will be doing it. The question is, can he get down there in time now? Because, of course, we're playing at noon or 1 o'clock, which means that, I think he's going to be able to get down there and do it, yeah.
I saw him at Martinsville the other night from a distance, so when I was down there for the sectional semifinals, both Bloomington North and Bloomington South played in both those games. Hey, great call today. Really enjoyed it, per usual, too. Have some fun coming up tomorrow, Don. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Jeff.
Don Fischer, voice of the Hoosiers on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Let us take a break. We have a shooting contest in the back. You take balls and you shoot them, courtesy of our friends at Bud Light, and you could advance for your chance at the finals in this shooting contest to win $10,000. Shooting contest ongoing. Sign up with Sienna in the game room in the back at the legendary Slippery Noodle with Bud Light on a Friday, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
When a health system treats patients with the very best in medical care and compassion, it needs a rare kind of staff. That's why Eskenazi Health never stops looking for professionals who understand that technology is most effective when paired with a genuine human touch. If you are
a nurse, a social worker,
or another professional interested in a career with us, visit eskenazihealth.edu/careers. Eskenazi Health, one of Becker's 150 great places to work in healthcare.
It's Terry Stacy for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains. Owner Chris Ambrose says second opinions are important.
You want to make sure that you are confident in the service that you're getting from whoever. The diagnostic that we give you may be different from the one that you got before. What we hope is it'll give you peace of mind that you're getting the right solution for your problem.
Get your free second opinion from B&W by going to BigBlackTrucks.com. Your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
A while back, we at AmericanEagle.com were asked to build the e-commerce site of a major candy distributor. With the need for a website that could take into account everything from shipping times to local weather, because, candy melts, the task was not like taking candy from a baby. Fortunately, we live for a good digital challenge and free bonbons. So we got to work on a slew of complex integrations, including a shipping algorithm that factored in variables like distance, speed, and location. The website even let the end customer personalize their candy for special events, like weddings or, major website launches. When all was said and done, our client enjoyed a significant increase in traffic, which we were also well prepared for, and an increase in average order size. A sweet result indeed. For complex e-commerce sites, digital marketing, UX, and more, talk to the experts at AmericanEagle.com. Don't just grow, soar.
Hey, JMV here. If you have a problem with that main drain and sewage backing up in your house, that is a stankety problem right there. Hey, let's get something done with Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing. They have a deal for you right now. What's called 83 or free. So LD Smith Plumbing will come clear that main drain for you for $83, or the visit is free. Talk to the office. I want you to ask for Elizabeth. She's awesome. She'll get you set up. Ask for 83 or free at 317-284-9526. Again, 317-284-9526. 83 or free right now. Online, ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Alice in Chains and Breaking Benjamin. Live in concert this summer with Bush. Plus special guests at Ruoff Music Center, August 17th. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Get up and get outside this summer with Alice in Chains and Breaking Benjamin.
Whoever said the more the merrier sure wasn't in charge of hiring new employees, because the more unqualified candidates you have for a job, the more difficult your hiring can be. And that can make the process, well, not so merry for you. Thankfully, there's ZipRecruiter, which you can try right now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology finds the right candidates for your job. But unlike other sites, ZipRecruiter goes deeper. ZipRecruiter matches people with people, and you can personally invite your top choices to apply. Because the perfect hire is more than a list of qualifications. It's an individual. ZipRecruiter makes hiring the right person easy, and that'll keep you and everyone else very merry.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's right, free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
Presented for the people by Caesars Sportsbook. Wager exactly $20 for your first bet, and you'll get $300 in free bets. Win or lose. Download it and earn more with Caesars Rewards. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or over.
Hey, Indy. Tim Pearson here, founder of Chattanooga Whiskey, the only Tennessee high malt. Chattanooga Whiskey 91 is an award-winning small batch bourbon crafted from 4 grains, including 3 specialty malts for a distinctly rich and complex character. Drink Chattanooga Whiskey. Enjoy responsibly.
There's never been a better time for a cash-out refinance. Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
Springtime in Indy. The home really took a hit this winter. Rhino Shield. Call 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41. So don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino.
The Ride with JMV.
Collect them, trade them, or just enjoy them.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Thank you to Voice of the Hoosiers Don Fischer. IU advancing to the Big Ten Conference Tournament semifinals. For the first time since 2013, back-to-back wins in this tournament. Going all the way back, that's the first time since 2003. IU Iowa, that is one side of the semifinal yet to be determined. The other side, you've got Michigan State and Wisconsin coming up around 6:30 tonight. That's the evening session at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And, of course, the Purdue Boilermakers and Penn State. And the nightcap, Alan Karpick, Gold and Black Illustrated, talked about that a little bit earlier with us. And we also talked to our guy Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk. Got a lot of stuff going on. College, you got the regional semifinals and finals coming up tomorrow as well. All right, Bud Light brings us to you live from the legendary Slippery Noodle, where we have a contest where you take a basketball in your hand and you shoot it. And if you make the most baskets, you could advance to the finals and have your opportunity to win $10,000. So that's what we're doing right now. Signing you up. Still time. You get 2 chances to shoot those basketballs with a chance to win here and advance to the finals. There again is your chance to win $10,000 with our friends from Zinc and Bud Light and the legendary Slippery Noodle. All right, I do want to tell you this because we have the nightcap. I should say we have the third game of that coming up here at the bottom of the 6 o'clock hour, and we have the last word coming up at the top of the hour. I'm going to have to bail a little bit quicker than normal. So this is not going to go until 6 o'clock tonight. Tell you what I'll do. I'll get a break right now. We'll figure out when I have to bail, and I'll come back and remind you and get you updated on absolutely everything, including the JMV takeover coming up tomorrow night, where we're going to be celebrating a lot. We have the 80s soundtracks after 8. We've got the super sounds of the 70s after 11, and you and me all the way for 6 hours tomorrow night on B105.7. That reminder and the news of the day, which starts with IU and their win over Illinois. That and more coming up next as we close it out from the Slippery Noodle with Bud Light, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
If you love listening to our shows, then you've got to follow us on our social media. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Search 107.5 The Fan and share your opinions with us on our posts.
Jake Query here. Recently I returned to college to finish my degree, and I encourage you to join me. Whether you're like me and life simply got in the way, or you never went to college at all, Indiana offers financial assistance for those ready to move forward. If I can do it, I know you can too. If you're looking for a better job or doing it for your family, Indiana has grants to pay for over 150 certificates in high-wage industries. You're sure to find a tuition-free option that fits you. To apply, visit nextleveljobs.org today. Sponsored by the Indiana Commission for Higher Education. That's nextleveljobs.org.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. Credit card debt is increasing at record speed. That's great for the big banks and greedy credit card companies, but for the rest of us, it's getting harder and harder just to pay the bills. The good news is home values are skyrocketing and mortgage rates are still near historic lows. There's never been a better time for a cash-out refinance. Our average client received over $54,000 at closing with a simple cash-out refinance. Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, it's JMV for Indiana's best. Andy Moore Buick GMC. That's 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers. Into 2022, we go with a load of inventory. Your selection is enhanced. Your car buying experience, the absolute best. Talk to my good friend Eric Wilson. If you're looking for a new set of wheels in the new year, get it done at only one place. That's Andy Moore Buick GMC. Tell him I sent you. 131st and State Road 37. It's Andy Moore Buick GMC in Fishers.
BetMGM, the official gaming partner of the MLS, has a special offer for soccer fans. Just sign up with BetMGM using the code THEFAN200. That's all one word, capital T, capital F. And if your first wager is a $10 moneyline bet on any MLS game, you'll receive $200 if either team scores a goal. Plus, you'll earn BetMGM rewards points that can be redeemed for online bonuses or converted into comps for rooms, restaurants, and more at over 20 MGM resorts nationwide. Sign up with BetMGM, and again, use that bonus code, THEFAN200, to win $200 when you bet on any MLS game and either team scores a goal. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Indiana only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Awards issued as knowledge drawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
This ad for Hellsberg Diamonds has been specifically written for those who'd rather think about football
than engagement rings. When free agency starts, your team wants to get the best players they can without spending too much. If your team is you and the players are engagement rings, then your best bet in free agency is shopping at Helzberg Diamonds, where you know you'll get the highest quality diamonds at prices that keep you from going over the salary cap. Visit your local Helzberg store and ask about our price match guarantee, or check us out at helzberg.com.
We buy any car. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any.
Did you know trading in your car at a dealer could cost you money? A recent study found consumers who trade in their car pay an average of $990 more. So don't trade in. Sell it to We Buy Any Car. Learn more and get your free online valuation now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Find out how much your car's worth at We Buy Any Car.
Even though it's cold outside, now is the time to plan your backyard project. Mark Rowland with Indy Decorative Concrete here. Learn the advantages of our stamped concrete patios. Endless design options, low maintenance, structurally superior, typically lower cost than wood decks or pavers, all backed by the best service and best warranty in town. Visit our showroom on Brookville Road or check us out at IndyDecorativeConcrete.com.
The Ride with JMV.
This will be the high point of my day. It's all downhill from here.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Oh, this sounds like Clayton Anderson. Did my friend Calvin Fitz send me a tweet that Clayton's playing like the fishing championship somewhere? Did you see that, Kyle? No?
I saw you retweeted it.
Yeah,
right?
I'd have to go back and find that. Normally when Clayton does something like that, he gives me a shout and lets me know so I could talk about it. But that's pretty cool right there. JMV at 1070thefan.com is the email address. Hey, JMV, I'm coming into town for my birthday from my teaching gig in Michigan City. Are you doing a remote anywhere that day? What day is that? Wait a minute. What day is it? I probably am, because I think I'm on the road 3 days next week. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I believe, Cam, on the road coming up next week. And I'll tell you all about that on Monday. Probably even share that with you tomorrow night on the JMV Takeover. But it is going to be outstanding. Yeah, you know, I'm thinking now I need to get my ass down to Gainbridge Fieldhouse tomorrow. Boilermakers advance. What do you think? The sports arousal? You going to get possibly IU and Purdue on Sunday before Selection Sunday? What? Can you imagine that for a moment? Yeah, no, I try really hard not to jinx it, and you guys can blame me if it doesn't happen. But just thinking a little bit out loud about that right now. Maybe. IU a winner over Illinois. Illinois the 1 seed earlier today in what was another nail-biter. And a shout-out to their defense, because that was yet another reason why they've won back-to-back games when most of us thought they probably would not even beat Michigan. Looked that way yesterday, down 17. Really locked down defensively. Got it done yesterday. Got it done again today against Illinois. They get an Iowa Hawkeye team that offensively scored 112 in their first game out yesterday against Northwestern, and backed that up with a 10-point win over Rutgers earlier today by putting 84 on the board. So to sustain defensively, it is going to take a big-time effort. Don Fischer joined us a little bit earlier. No new news regarding Jordan Geronimo. That would really suck, because I'm saying his energy level has been fantastic for his team in 2 games. That would really stink if he's unable to play coming up tomorrow. All right, nightcaps tonight. Got 2 games for the evening session as they're warming up right now at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Wisconsin and Michigan State. That is game number 1 of the evening session. And the second game, Purdue and Penn State. That's an 11-3 Big Ten Conference Tournament matchup. That tip time is scheduled for at some point around 9 o'clock coming up later on this evening. So there are your matchups. Now, is IU in the NCAA tournament? That remains to be seen. I would like to think that they are right now, but it seems like that both Lenardi and others that do this for a living are still checking out what is going on as far as college basketball is concerned. And we talked about SMU and Dayton and Oklahoma and other teams that might play a significant role outside of what IU does coming up in the semifinals against Iowa tomorrow. I would love to think that sitting here right now that they are in, but for the sake of anything else, you have had two of the more compelling, interesting, enjoyable games in IU basketball for a long time in the last two games. Just continue moving and sustain that. Do what you can do, and that is take care of yourself. But again, I'd like to think, you're asking me, and I'll tell you, I'd like to think that they're in right now, but you don't want this thing to get haywire and screwy on you. So just continue down that path of winning and make this an extra special weekend. Make this an extra special weekend. I mentioned, too, we're going to have to get off the air earlier than usual because we have the last word with Matt Taylor. I don't know if the Gorman's a part of it. I know Casey Valier has been a part of it. That is coming up here near or at least a little bit before the top of the hour because we have that Game 3 of the day in the Big Ten Conference Tournament coming your way at 6:30 tonight. So that is one of the reasons why we're going to bail a little bit earlier than usual. On this particular Friday, a quick shout-out to Zink and my friends at Bud Light for having us. We'll continue while we're here the shooting with a basketball into a ring-like hoop thing in the back room that could advance you to the finals of this particular contest of shooting into a ring-like thing with a basketball, and you could win $10,000 if you're a part of those finals. Courtesy of our friends from Bud Light. I love the legendary Slippery Noodle. Cappy, Carol, thank you very much for having us. My friends at Zinc, love you guys. Love to see everybody out here today. It is spectacular seeing Indy like this. It really is. Cam and new engineer guy, David? David, great job. David's the new engineer guy. Huh? Devin. Not David, but Devin. That's Devin, the new engineer guy right there. Kyle Udemark, fantastic job out of you as well. JMV Takeover tomorrow, 6 until midnight. All request, all 80s. 80s after 8 soundtracks. Super sounds of the 70s and the 11 o'clock hour. You and me, 6 hours of all request music tomorrow night. B105.7. Matt Taylor comes your way. The last word, Big Ten Conference quarterfinal hoop after that. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Have a spectacular weekend. Talk to you on Monday.
There's never been a better